This is our country, this is our land. This is our country, this is our land. The next generation are proud Aussie men. We work together, we all understand. This is our country, this is our land. This is our country, this is our land.
Welcome to Radio Mama's Drennan O'Malley Motors Game Day broadcast. Thanks to our sponsors, the City of Greater Geraldton, Warren Taylor Homes, Melissa Price, the member for Durack, GT Russell, Chartered Accountants and Business Advisors, Smartline Mortgage Brokers, and, of course, the team at Drennan O'Malley Motors. It's right here, right now, on your home of GNFL football, Radio Mama.
And a very good afternoon and welcome. This is Drennan O'Malley Motors Game Day. Glenn Barden and Peter Forenza with you this afternoon on the home of GNFL football, Sports Shed, SHO Radio, Radio Mama. And we're into round 7 for Refuel Australia and all 3 games being played today. And we'll be going around the grounds with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton. Today we are at Warren Taylor Homes Recreation Ground with the top position Railways hosting second place Brigades. In earlier games today, with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton, in the Colts, Railways 16 goals 9, 105. Defeated Brigades 3 goals 2-20. In the reserves, Railways 6 goals 6-42. Defeated Brigades 3 goals 8-26. And up at Percher International Oval, big game up there, the traditional Northern Derby, and Northampton pulling out all the big guns this afternoon. Northampton placed in the 4 at the moment. They host the 7th place Chapman Valley. And in earlier game there in the Colts game, Northampton 18 goals 20. Defeated Chapman Valley 2 goals straight. And there's games being played today at the Greenock Oval with Rovers, the 3rd place side, hosting the 5th place Towns. But as I mentioned, we're here for the top of the table clash, and I'm joined in commentary as always by Peter Fiorenza. G'day, Pete.
G'day, Glenn. Beautiful conditions here at Warren Taylor Recreation Ground, Warren Taylor Homes Recreation Ground, of course. Bit of a mouthful, so most of the acronyms are in and around the district for football here in the GNFL. Both teams out on the ground. Railways come into this game on top of the premiership table. Brigades are the reigning premier. So it really is an important game this afternoon to see who is going to lead us into the second half of the season. And Brigades certainly, Glenn, would like to, assert themselves as the favourites coming into another final series.
Yeah, Brigades have come up with a pretty good side, as you'd expect, for today's game. They did have a few injury concerns heading into the contest, and Railways, they've come up with a pretty formidable side also. So a big day for football in the GNFL. And Peter, you've got the Railway side. Well, I'll quickly run through the Brigades side from the fullback line. Sam Millett, Isaac Ronan, Clay Sipler. Halfbacks, Ben Bockman, Fraser Ismail, Jesse Castleton. Centre line, Jaden Schofield, Jack Deschamps and Mick Quick. Half forwards, Jordan O'Brien, Ben O'Brien, a very handy player into the lineup. James Ryder, Christopher Ryder is in the forward pocket. Dale Williamson, one of the league's leading goal scorers, and Graham Sandy. And it's going to be an interesting run to see who plays. There was a bit of a doubt whether Hayden Johnson would play today, and we notice he isn't changed, so Hayden Johnson won't be playing today. Kim Schofield will, Aaron McCartney will, Kalani Barton will, Drew McGregor will, and Lewin Valley will. So Brigades have pretty close to full strength, apart from Hayden Johnson, I would imagine. So they're looking okay for today's game. And Railways, once again, they have come up with a pretty formidable side and some very good ins for Railways today.
From the back line, it reads Riley Zimmerman, Kyle Watts and Tom Rowe. The halfbacks comprise of Matthew Kimberley, Jesse Moore. Jesse Moore actually has been a late withdrawal.
He has,
and
yes.
Jacob Williams. The centre line is Tristan Simpson, Ben Saunders and Corey Clark. The half-forward line is Peter Kimberley, Noah Cashard and Alex Newton. The full-forward line, Shaden Edwards, Jack Cocking and Blake Messina. And the ruck division is Ryan Latesia, Jesse Adamini and Mitchell Boyle. Quite ominous, that ruck line there. And interchange players will come from Nathan Paletti, Blake Bunter, Owen Delaney and Jackson Graham. So in Noah Cashard, Shaden Edwards, Owen Delaney and also Jackson Graham, and out Adriano Priolo, Cameron Keezer, Elliot Delaney, John Narkle, and the late withdrawal there, as I've just mentioned, is Jesse Moore through COVID.
And yeah, there's a new player come into the side, and we'll pick him up. He's a new player that we haven't really heard a lot of before, and he is a player who we wish well in today's contest, and he comes into the lineup, as you say, to Liam Cullinan is the player who's come into the side, and he takes Jesse Moore's place, I would imagine, for today's big game. Umpires this afternoon, two young guns, and we wish them well. Theo Bennett, who umpires in the GNFL every week and is doing a fine job, and Tim Bitterscombe, who went away after last year's season and umpired in Darwin for a period of time. He's gone back to Perth and now umpiring the amateurs, and he's looking to move into the WAFL system next year, but Tim Bitterscombe coming back to help the umpires out. They're a bit short-staffed this weekend, as many people have gone and used this WA weekend to have a little bit of a break and do something different. But the players are out on the ground. Railways are in the northern end of the ground in preparation for this first term. Brigades, they've been through a pretty extensive training drill. They've been out on the ground for 10 minutes and they've been training at the southern end of the ground. So they've had a bit of ball work already. Railways have gone straight into a huddle and in preparation. The game is going to get underway very, very shortly. The interchange players are coming off for the Brigades club, and they are Kalani Barton, also Christopher Ryder, the big fella Todd Aldrich, and the other youngster Lewin Valley. They're the four players coming off for the Railways side, for the Brigades side, I should say. For Railways, their interchange players are coming off. They include Blake Bunter and also a couple of other young players, including Nathan Paletti, and maybe Jackson Graham is one of those players as well. So good sides for both Brigades and Railways this afternoon. In the first round, Peter, we were surprised by the margin Brigades won by. They won by 60 points. I can honestly say I doubt it'll be 60 points this afternoon. But I think Railways have improved a fair bit since then. Brigades have been a little bit unsettled the last couple of weeks, but this is a really big test for them. And this first term on Drennan O'Malley Motors Game Day. Beautiful conditions here at Warren Taylor Homes for the big one this afternoon. And the first term is brought to you by Warren Taylor Homes, as Theo Bennett about to get the game underway for the GNFL umpires this afternoon. He holds the Mitchell and Brown ball aloft, and we're underway in round 7 for Refuel Australia. And the big fellas go at it. And a good ruck there from Ryan Letessia. Knocks it to ground. The ball's knocking off the ground there by Kim Schofield. Brigades quickly into attack. They're going to the city end in this first term. Kim Schofield still fighting hard to get the ball forward. In goes the player now for Railways. He's tackled very, very heavily. The umpire comes in quickly, and there's a bit of pushing and shoving and a bit of pulling of the players out of that pack.
Ooh.
And once again, Ben Saunders is involved. The players go up. Ryan Letessia wins it forward. Goes the way of the young player there for Brigades in Jamie Ryder. The ball in the forward 50, just below the scoreboard for Adam Hunter Accountants. The ball comes the way now of Jesse Adamini for Railways. Kicks the ball out along the Francis Street wing, and the Brigades player was met very solidly there by the Railways player, and the umpire will come in and he'll give him a 50-metre penalty. Jesse Adamini was one of the players remonstrating, but the Brigades will get a 50-metre penalty and they'll go within 25 metres of goal. If not closer, the umpire's taking him right in, and he's about 20 metres out on a 45-degree angle, and Brigades have an opportunity to get the first score on the board. And Brigades very, very quickly have the ball in their forward 50. Well, they have it within 20 metres now because of a free kick. So Brigades shooting on goal. Deep in the forward line. There goes the kick from Brigades. They're pretty happy with that. And a good bit of play. Is that Jaden Schofield?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, Jaden Schofield has got the first score on the board, and a very important one. On the Adam Hunter's scoreboard, Brigades have taken a minute and a half to get the first major of the afternoon, and Jaden Schofield rewarded with a free kick and a 50-metre penalty brought him within 25 metres, and he had no trouble.
Of course, Jaden Schofield, a former Railways player. Glenn played all his juniors at the Railway Football Club, along with his brother, who also, Kim, who won a Clune medal, also figured at Railways, both over at Brigades this year. So no love lost between those two individuals and, of course, the Railways side. So back in the middle now. First blood goes to the Brigades side. Schofield getting the ball. That's Jaden again out of the middle. He kicks to the outer side on the Francis Road side of the ground now. Running onto it is Kim Schofield. Quickly puts his boot into the piece of leather, and it goes out on the full, I think, and a free kick will go the way of Railways. Railways now in the back line, heading along that Francis Street side. Great conditions for football. Players go up. The whistle does sound. Off the ball, the umpire said the player was pushed in the back. A free kick will go the way of the Blues. It's young Cocking who's moved right up on the wing. I've dubbed him Young Kerno as he kicks it into the half-forward area now. It bounces just before the big D, going the way now of Railways. Can they set something up? Shaden Edwards, he sees an open goal, drops the pill. It goes to ground. It's picked up again by Adamini. He's brought to ground. The ball spills free again. Railways still have an opportunity to kick on goal as the ball goes forward from Blake Messina. A check side kick, but goes straight across the face of the big sticks and is out on the full.
First time that we've seen Railways go forward in this game. Only early stages of this first term were thanks to Warren Taylor Holmes. And the ball comes back into play. And the mark taken there by Simpson for the Blues. He plays on, centres the ball to half forward, where he finds Ryan Letessia, who's come along in leaps and bounds at Railways this year as their number one ruckman. Letessia kicks the ball now, under pressure. Smothered off the boot, goes the way of Adamini. He goes by hand to Williams. Jager Williams kicks it up towards full forward. Ball running free. Picked up by Blake Messina off the back of the pack. And Blake Messina gets Railways' first score of the afternoon. 4 minutes gone in this first term. And on the Adam Hunter scoreboard, Railways are 1 goal and Brigades are 1 goal. So we've got a good contest here at Warren Taylor Holmes Recreation Ground.
Blake Messina, the little goal sneak, looking a bit scary in the early stages of this particular game, Drennan O'Malley game day. We are at the recreation ground for arch rivals, Railways up against Brigades. Railways sit on top of the premiership table. Brigades the reigning premier. Ball back in the middle now. Players sizing each other up. Hotly contested encounter. Up they go now. Players set themselves. It's won by Letessia for Railways. He knocks it straight down the throat of his follower, who's brought to ground, and the ball will be thrown up once again. As I said, great conditions for football, a reasonable crowd in attendance, as you expect between these two combatants. Big followings. The ball goes away of Saunders. He goes one way, the ball goes the other. The ball spills free now, going the way of Letessia. Letessia out of the middle for the Blues, and a nice mark is taken on the half-forward flank, and that's by the little speedster in Noah Cashard. The little Donga player kicks it into the half-forward area, goes to ground. The player picks it up, is disposed of, almost holding the ball. The umpire says no prior opportunity. Players dive on top of it, just inside the forward 50. The defence for Brigades is under the pump at the moment, Glenn Barndon, and the ball will be balled up just metres inside the forward 50 for Railways.
Umpire Bitterscombe to throw the ball into the air. 6 points apiece at the moment. 5 minutes gone in this first term. Warren Taylor Holmes, Drennan O'Malley Motors game day. Radio Mama, the home of GNFL footy. Kim Schofield handballs the ball across the ground. Picked up now by Shaden Edwards in his orange boots. And Shaden Edwards gives the free kick away. Goes the way of Kalani Barton. Kalani Barton in the centre-half back position. Kicks it up the centre of the ground. Looking up there for some movement. Railways, Riley Zimmerman's there. So too is Mitchell Boyle. But picked up by Brigades very cleverly by the Brigades player in Jordan O'Brien. Gets it onto a teammate there in Jack Deschamps. He gets it up towards the teeth of goals. Looking up there for the danger man and Graham Sandy. Picked up by Sandy now. And Sandy from 25 metres gets his first goal of the afternoon. Good bit of play there from Graham Sandy, a very exciting young player. And Graham Sandy gets the second of the afternoon for the Hawks. On the Adam Hunter scoreboard, Brigades go to 2 goals straight. Railways are 1 goal.
Just saw his pop, Diamond Jim Sandy, prior to the match, Glenn, up at the canteen. And in his day, we'd be proud of that one, wouldn't he?
He certainly would have been, yes. Jim was a ripper around goals, a very, very strong player, never lost his footing, but he would have been pretty happy with what he saw of Graham then, the way he used his skills to good effect.
Ball back in the middle, and it, suddenly we've got 3 goals on the board here in our Drennan O'Malley game day. It's 2 straight goals to Brigades and 1 to Railways. Boys, ball back in the middle. The umpire says no, that wasn't a fair bounce or throw up, and I'll do it again. So the ball will come back to the middle of the ground. There are other games being played in the GNFL today. Rovers against Towns out at the Greenough Oval. We'll have updates throughout the broadcast, brought to you by the City of Greater Geraldton. The ball on the far side goes away with that player in Sandy now. He kicks it down the Floors Road side, just outside the centre square. The ball is still with the Brigade side. Starting to probably get the edge in the middle stages of the first term. A nice kick by Ryder into the half-forward area. Comes off hands. It bounces inside the corridor, but Railways are first to it. It goes one way, then the other. Eventually goes the way of Tristan Simpson. He's a great defender, Simpson. Kicks outside the defensive 50, going the way of Saunders. Saunders is set upon by 2 opponents. He goes to ground, eventually gets the ball out by a handball. He roves his own ball, picks it up, does Saunders. Tries to kick it off his boot. He's, discharged in doing that, but he gets it again. He puts it in, puts his boot into the piece of leather, into the half-forward area, goes the ball. Up go a couple of players. No one can get possession. Shaden Edwards goes in a little bit arrogantly, as he has throughout the first term. Doesn't realise he can get tackled in this game and has been brought to the ground pretty easily. The ball coming out of defence now. That's with this player. I do like him, Glenn. We watch him each and every week. That's Jack DeChamp. He sends it inboard. He finds the player there in Jordan O'Brien. Bryan straight across now to Schofield. Schofield onto his boot into the half-forward area. Can they set something up? But there he is, the youngster in Zimmerman. Loved his game last week. Gets it out to a teammate, and that teammate is Rowe. Puts it on his boot, sends it down into the half-back area and finds Messina. Messina sends it inboard, and the ball is still with the Blues.
Kimberley gets it up ground and finds Letessia. Letessia on centre wing, grandstand side, plays on quickly, centres the ball now, finds Mitchell Boyle. He runs around his opponent, draws a player there, picked up now by Matt Kimberley, the 101 game man. He gets it over to his brother Peter. Peter Kimberley kicks it up towards the forward pocket, looking up there for Jesse Adamini. He's got a couple to beat. Lewin Connolly's one of them. Lewin Valley is one of them. He slaps the ball forward. Ball goes to ground. Big pack develops, and umpire Bitterscone will come in and throw the ball up. So game started with a fair bit of intensity, as you'd expect. The 2 top sides playing for club loyalty and club pride this afternoon after a big win for Brigades in round 1. Railways are keen to show that they are very, very much a worthy grand finalist. Goes out wide, picked up by Kalani Barton. Out leading the race for the ball now is a Railways player, and Jager Williams sees the ball across the boundary line. In fact, kicks the ball across the boundary line on the full. So Ryder has the opportunity for the Hawks. Puts it on his left boot. Kicks it to his brother further afield, just below the scoreboard. Picked up by Ryder now. Kicks it forward, looking there for Ben O'Brien. And Ben O'Brien has done very well to take a very strong mark under a fair bit of pressure. Good bit of player from the 2 Ryder boys, getting the ball moving along the Francis Street
Certainly
side.
No daylight as he hit the deck to take that one.
Well, he's a pretty good cricketer too, so he would have thought he was in the slips because he had to go very low to get it out. He almost had to dig it out of the ground. So well done to Ben O'Brien. Ben O'Brien is 30 metres out on a 45-degree angle, almost the same angle that Jaden Schofield kicked a goal from only a few moments back. Shooting on goal now. There goes the kick from Ben O'Brien. He's hit the goalpost. The left goal post about 3/4 of the way up. So the first minus score of the afternoon. And on the Adam Hunter scoreboard, Brigades go to 2 goals, 1-13. They lead Railways 1 goal straight, 6.
Ben O'Brien back into the lineup, travelling from the metro area. The ball in the half-back line is with Cashard now, out of defence for the Blues. Cashard, I think he's been playing some games with the young Perth elite or development squad. The ball coming down to the centre wing, just in front of the grandstand. Players dive on top of it. There are more gold and blue than there is white and blue, but the umpire says he'll throw it up again. The ball comes out in the middle, goes away of Sandy, gets it over to a teammate. That teammate quickly puts it onto his boot, and that player is Jordan O'Brien. He sends it into the half-forward area, but the ball goes into the shadows of the big Norfolk Bay Pines and goes over the boundary. So the ball about to be thrown in deep attack now for Brigades, kicking toward the Augusta Street or City End, as Glenn referred to earlier in the call this afternoon. In it comes now. Players setting themselves. Goes the way of the big man. He'll try and get a goal if he's got an opportunity. And, of course, I'm talking about Dale Williamson. Dale Williamson, of course, has the record now for the most goals in the GNFL. One took the title away from another Dale, and that's Dale Baines from the Towns Footy Club. The ball coming out of the middle. Ben Saunders getting a lot of the ball early in and around the packs. Puts Cash out under a lot of pressure. He's brought to ground and the ball finds the boundary. So trying to lock it in now. Well, the Brigade side. The ball to be thrown in front of the Railways faithful here this afternoon. In it goes. Players setting themselves. Up goes that player I talked about just a moment ago, and Dale Williamson. The ball goes to ground. It's picked up now by the Railways defender. He sends it down the wing, not far from our broadcast position, but it is Brigades who are first to the ball. The ball goes away to Schofield now. He in turn gives it away to a teammate, puts it onto his boot, kicks into the man on the mark, but it's still with Brigades now as it goes inside the forward corridor, working hard to try and keep the ball in their forward 50, but the defence for Railways working overtime, bottling it up as the ball goes to ground. No one can get possession. Goes the way of Ryder now. He spins around, puts it onto his boot, comes off hands and spills through for the minor score. So Railways under a lot of pressure at the moment as we head to the latter stages of the first term.
Adam Hunter scoreboard, and Brigades are 2 goals, 2-14. They lead Railways 1 goal straight, 6. Ball comes back into play, picked up by Jaden Schofield. He shoots on goal, but he's off target, out of bounds on the full, so a wasted opportunity there. He was deep in the left forward pocket in front of the Railways club rooms, kicking to the northern end of the ground, and it goes out of bounds. As we go around the grounds with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton, of course, there's some games being played today at Percher International Oval. Northampton have won the Colts and the reserves, and out at Greenock Oval, the Rovers have won the Colts and the reserves. Railways to bring the ball back into play through Tom Rowe, who played well last week. Ball comes off hand, picked up by Kim Schofield, fields it out to brother Jaden. This time Jaden shoots on goal. Beautiful shot from 30 metres, 45-degree angle. Jaden Schofield gets his second of the afternoon, and he's playing a very, very good game. And on the Adam Hunter scoreboard, Brigades are now 3 goals, 2, and they lead Railways 1 goal straight. So a good start to this first term. Of course, Brigades have got a pretty handy breeze at their back, probably worth 2 or 3 goals at least. And the first quarter brought to you with thanks to Warren Taylor Homes. And 3-2 leads 1 goal straight on Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football. Round 7 for Refuel Australia.
Over the last couple of seasons, Jaden Schofield has taken out the Skeeters best on ground, Glenn. I think we need to put a cap on it for players because he certainly likes visiting Skeeters because he's done it a few times, courtesy of us here at Radio Mama. The ball back in the middle now. Schofield, he is the big difference between both these sides here today. Last year's Clue medalist. He's got his Clue medalist in Mitchell Boyle also here today. The ball coming out of the middle. Goes to ground. Players diving on top of it. Going forward now for Brigades once again. Starting to get on top of their opposite number. 3-2 plays 1 goal. That's 3-2 Brigades to Railways, just the 1 goal. So they do have the upper hand at the moment. They do. They got the breeze, Glenn. It's probably about a 2 to 3 goal breeze. The ball into the half-forward area goes away of Dale Williamson straight through his hands. It goes to ground, and the players around him try and gather it, but they're caught with the ball, and the free kick will go the way of the defender in Casey Clark. So Casey Clark now, he'll kick to the outer side, the Francis Street side of the ground. Players going up. The ball doesn't meet any intended target, goes to ground. Brigades are better in that. They come out of it now. Kim Schofield gives it away to a teammate there who quickly puts a handball in, and that player is O'Brien. Back into the thick of things goes the ball, bounces out, goes the way now of Brigades. They send it inside the forward 50 and a push in the back, it looks like, to the defender for Railways, and a free kick will go the way. It looks, is it Paletti? And he'll kick off the fullback area on the far side, just in front of the Adam Hunter scoreboard.
Nathan Paletti goes out wide, looking out there for Jack Cocking. Jack must be playing on a wing, I think, this afternoon. So Jack Cocking takes a good, strong mark, and the umpire's telling him to hang on for a little while. Then he says, play on now, Jack, and he does. Jack Cocking goes out wide to the Francis Street wing, looking out there for Jesse Adamini. The boundary line comes into play, and there'll be another boundary throw in. 17 minutes gone. Term number 1 for our people at Drennan O'Malley Motors and Warren Taylor Homes in this first term. Ball comes back in from the boundary throw in. Goes the way of Paletti. He slaps it down to Adamini. Adamini handsballs it over to Williams. Jager Williams kicks it from half back to half forward, trying to get Railways to go forward towards the southern end. Blake Messina uses his pace to good impact. Gets a handball away just in the nick of time, under pressure, ball running free. In goes Mitchell Boyle, in goes the Brigades player. Ball spills out again, looking there for Railways, Alex Newton. Brigades player puts good pressure on him. A pack develops, and umpire Theo Bennett said the player had no prior opportunity, and umpire Bennett will come in and throw the ball up. And we have Ben Boakman doing the rucking for Brigades, and we have Ryan Letessia doing the rucking for Railways. Ben Boakman goes back in, retrieves it. Ball roved by Blake Messina. He kicks it from half forward in towards the forward line, in towards the forward pocket, looking there for a player. Mitchell Boyle's there, eventually slips it out the back to Jesse Adamini. Adamini from 35 metres, shoots on goal. Jesse Adamini gets his first of the afternoon, and he gets the second for the Blues. So things looking pretty tight on the scoreboard. And looking at the Adam Hunter scoreboard now, Railways are 2 goals straight, Brigades are 3 goals too. So we've got a very, very tight game as we head to time on in this first term.
You're listening to Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football. That was a timely goal for the Blues, and now are in striking distance of their opposite number in Brigades this afternoon. They are 2 straight goals, Brigades 3-2, as we head to the first break here in our Drennan O'Malley Game Day. This quarter brought to you by Warren Taylor Homes. Ball back in the middle. Up they go. Players setting themselves, and it's the player there in Paletti who goes up in the ruck, but no one can get purchase of the ball. The ball goes to ground, and the player for Brigades will have the free kick. He'll kick from the half-back area. Does pretty well, puts it onto his boot. That's Aaron McCartney. Into the half-forward area it goes. Players setting themselves. Riders there. No, he can't get hold of the ball. It goes the other way. It looks like it is Drew McGregor, the premiership player. Sends it down the corridor. Gee, that was not a bad kick in the end. Comes off hands and spills toward the boundary. Almost picked up by the speedster there in Graham Sandy. He's unable to do so, and the ball will be thrown in. So the ball about to be thrown in the full-forward area. Can't see Mitchell Boyle out there, Glenn.
No, he's out there. He's up here.
He certainly is. He's up the other end. He's waiting to get a goal. In they come now. In the shadows of the trees, the ball goes to ground. Players diving on top of each other. And another goal here for Railways, or I should say Brigades, would make their coach pretty happy. In Corey Foot going into the first break as it goes away of the biggest goal sneak in the competition, Dale Williamson. He soccers through a host of players. It goes toward the boundary and results in a minor score. Glenn, one of the legends of the game, Brigades Warren Jones here at the game today.
Yes,
so he'd be like to see his team have a win.
Yeah, Warren Jones, one of the greats of GNFL footy, and of course the Brigades Footy Club. And great to see him at the footy this afternoon. Picked up now by Railways, Tom Rowe. Tom Rowe kicks it up the ground and finds Nathan Paletti. Nathan Paletti is on half back. He's coming along the Colin Scruffy Burgess grandstand side of the ground, looking there for Alex Newton, but Jaden Schofield stands in the way, and Jaden Schofield takes a good strong mark. And Newton want to be very careful. He didn't give away 50 metres then.
I think in the AFL it would have been.
Short, a 10-metre pass. The umpire says play on. Picked up by Kim Schofield.
Oh!
Kim Schofield, beautiful kick forward. And a beautiful mark taken by the big man, Dale Williamson.
And he would have got off the ground by a metre or two then, Glenn. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah. It looked like Jack Darling, who doesn't like to take the ball out in front of him. He usually tries to take it on his chest. But this time, it was a good mark to Dale Williamson. Dale Williamson, 30 metres out, directly in front. And Dale gets an opportunity to get his first of the afternoon, and he does. That was a good goal. And probably 40 metres, actually. And a good goal there to Dale Williamson, who's one of the league's leading goal scorers, along with Jesse Adamini. Dale gets his first of the afternoon. Jesse has already got one. So the scoreboard ticks over just as we head towards the latter stages of this first term. And a very healthy scoreboard, but as we've said at the beginning, probably the Breeze worth 2 or 3 goals, and Brigades now have got 4 goals, and Railways have got 2. So Brigades probably would like another goal prior to the quarter-time break.
You're listening to Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football. Glad to have your company, and each Saturday from 8:30, don't forget to join us for all the sport that's happening in and around the region, both international, national and local. You can hear it all on Sportshed Saturday, brought to you by Mitchell & Brown Retrovision. They're the local boys in Marine Terrace. Up they go now. Ball goes to ground. Socket out of the middle, and it's Saunders. He's getting a lot of the ball in this game, playing a very important role as it comes back the way now of the veteran for the Brigade Railway side in Saunders. Kicks it inside the forward 50. He's looking for Kimberley, doesn't find that player. The defender in Castleton gets the ball and disposes of it down the wing on the Francis Street side. Brigades, they can set something up, but no, Paletti has other ideas. He gets it over to Zimmerman. Zimmerman for the Blues, sends it inboard, and a nice mark is taken by the player there in Owen Delaney. Delaney now plays on, and there he is, Zimmerman. As I said, liked his game last week against the Demons. He sends it into the half-forward area. The kick isn't a good one. The player running for the ball is pushed off it. It goes to ground. It's picked up again now. Here's Cashard. Cashard for Railways. Puts it onto his boot. Tries to kick inside the forward 50. Castleton does the better. Brings the ball to ground. Below him is the youngster in Kimberley. He too is unsuccessful in getting some inertia forward. Eventually it goes the way of Messina. Messina sees a lead. The lead is by Shaden Edwards, and he takes a mark outside the forward 50.
48 metres out, Shaden Edwards kicks it up towards full forward. Coming out with a good lead and a nice jump is Jack Cocking. And Jack Cocking is marked, and he's 30 metres out, directly in front. And Jack Cocking can get a score on the board
just
for Railways.
News in from Mullawar. The muster is a sellout. No tickets left for the Mullawar muster.
Well, how good is that? That is very
That's
good indeed.
fantastic, isn't
So
it?
a beautiful day out there for the
Been
Mullawar
waiting
muster.
a long time in the making, this one. 2 seasons, or 2 years have been getting ready for it, haven't they?
That's right. 2 years of COVID, but it's great to see people of the Midwest and beyond getting involved and making Mullawar muster such a success. Jack Cocking shoots on goal from 30 metres. He's pretty happy, and so he should. Railways are pretty happy. Railways get their third goal of the afternoon. On the Adam Hunter scoreboard, Railways go to 3 goals straight, 18. They trail Brigades, 4 goals, 3, 27. And we've got a real contest on our hands for Drennan O'Malley Motors game day this afternoon. The top 2 sides going at it, and of course a really good contest. And this term brought to us by Warren Taylor Homes. And just looking at goal scorers for the league to this point, it is Jesse Adamini who leads the race for the leading goal scorer. He has 25 goals at the moment. Well, he's got 24 goals prior to today. He's got 1, so that's 25. And Dale Williamson, he had 21 before today. He now has got 1, so he's got 22 goals for the season.
I'm glad you're adding it all up, Glenn. The ball in the middle goes away to Letessia now. The ruckman for Railways comes laterally. It's picked up by Paletti onto his boot, out to the centre wing, right in front of our broadcast position for Radio Mama. Cashard goes in stylishly, gets it away to a teammate. The ball is now with Railways once again. Messina, he's been in the thick of things this afternoon. He can't get the ball on that occasion. Goes back the way of Adamini to Cashard onto his boot into the half-forward area. Can they set something up, the Blues, late in the first term to push themselves closer to Brigades? But the Brigades defender puts it onto his boot. He sends it down the wing, and a nice mark is taken down the wing on this occasion, and it's taken by Ryder. Christopher Ryder at centre wing, puts it onto his boot. He sends it into the half-forward area. Up goes the youngster in Zimmerman. He goes up into the air, is brought to ground, comes off hands and spills over the boundary. Glenn, Drennan O'Malley Motors have a great special on at the moment. Only to our listeners listening to this broadcast, a 2012 Toyota Land Cruiser Altitude Wagon. It's 4.5 litre turbo diesel V8, automatic, air-conditioned, power steering, cruise control, Bluetooth, USB, UHF radio, aluminium bull bar, and lots more for the wonderful price of just $74,990. Call in to Ron, Rachel, or any of the team to Drennan O'Malley Motors for that great special. And if you didn't hear it, we'll repeat it later on today. 9
points is the margin as we head towards quarter time. The siren has sounded, and what a contest it's been. A really entertaining first term here at the recreation ground for Warren Taylor Homes. And the quarter-time scores are Brigades 4-3-27. They lead Railways 3 goals straight, 18. And you're tuned to Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football.
Today's Day is brought to you by our sponsor, Melissa Price, your local member for the seat of Durack. Stay tuned to the home of GNFL football, Radio Mama.
Today's Drennan O'Malley Motors Game Day is brought to you by our great sponsors, Warren.
Good
Taylor
afternoon.
Holmes.
Good afternoon, welcome back. It's quarter time of the football. Drennan O'Malley Motors Game Day. Glenn Barnett and Pete Forenza bringing you all the action at quarter time with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton. It is a very entertaining game, and we find that Brigades are 4-3-27. They lead Railways 3 goals straight, 18, a 9-point margin in favour of the Hawks. Quarter by quarter summaries can tell you that the goal scorers for Railways, Blake Messina has 1, Jesse Adamini 1, Jack Cocking 1. For Brigades, Jaden Schofield has 2, Graham Sandy 1, and Dale Williamson 1. Peter, you're looking at contenders for the Skeeters Restaurant Player of the Day from Brigades. Who did you like in that quarter?
Well, Glenn, consistently throughout the quarter, I thought Jaden Schofield, Castleton in defence, Dale Williamson up front, and young Sandy.
And looking at Railways' better players, I thought Ryan Latesia is giving them a good head start in the ruck. Matt Kimberley carries on where he left off last week. Ben Sanders always hard at the ball. Blake Messina doing his bit, and Noah Cashard is also working hard as we see Brigades win the ball out of the centre to get this second term underway for Melissa Price, the member for Durack. And Dylan Lucas was the player who got it on his boot, got it up towards full forward, and find the big man in Big Dale Williamson. And Dale has marked 25 metres out, directly in front.
And they're up against a stiff breeze at the moment, Glenn. It's really picked up. It's probably at least 3 goals at the moment. And
so
they're up
Dale
against.
Williamson kicking straight into the breeze, and this will be his second goal of the afternoon. And yes, it is. From 25 metres, Dale gets his second. Brigades get their fifth. So Brigades on the New Fab equipment scoreboard go to 5 goals, 3-33. They lead Railways 3 goals straight, 18. So a good start to Brigades in this term, and a very important start. So a good way to kick off the term. Pressure building on Railways now, but as Peter said, they've got the breeze at their back. Still plenty of time left in this term, so they'll work towards getting the scoreboard ticking over at the southern end of the ground, with Brigades going to the southern end, and we have the Railway side going to the northern end with the breeze behind them. Umpire Bitterscombe has the ball back in the centre, puts the ball into the air. Ryan Latesia, and goes up against that player in Lucas, who's a very impressive player, Dylan Lucas. Good to see him back in the Hawks lineup. Ball comes out to Brigades player in Kim Schofield. He feeds it out towards James Ryder. Jamie Ryder gets it up towards the forward line, looking up there for his brother Christopher. Ball taken away by the Railways defender. In goes Kyle Watts, the fullback, handballs it towards the boundary line. But once again, Ryder's there. Gets a handball to Schofield. Kim Schofield gets it back to Ryder. Ryder is tackled. Ball comes out from Railways. Good bit of play there from Kimberley. Kimberley goes by hand to Liam Cullinan, but the ball's been turned over and Brigades go forward again, giving Jaden Schofield an opportunity. But the boundary line comes into play, and there'll be another boundary throw in deep in the left forward pocket at the southern end of Warren Taylor Holmes.
9 points in favour of the reigning Premier Brigades at quarter time. They added to that pretty quickly through Dale Williamson early into the term. 5-3 plays 3 straight goals. The ball inside the forward 50 comes off the boot of the Brigades custodian. He sends it into space. Is picked up by Ben O'Brien, or is he? He's under pressure. He's under pressure from the player there who quickly put it onto his boot in Rowe. Rowe for Railway sends it down toward the crowd just in front of our broadcast position for Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football. Melissa Price, the member for Durack, the sponsor of this particular term, she'll be my special guest in the studio on Forenza on Sunday tomorrow. So we'll have a good chat with Melissa. We'll probably spin some of her favourite tracks. I know she likes the Boss, Glenn, so she'll like to hear that. The ball back in the middle now. Latesia, he knocks it to ground. Diving on top of it's McGregor. McGregor loses possession, but Boyle doesn't. He's pushed off the ball as he puts it onto his boot. The kick is not a bad one into the full forward area. Doesn't meet the intended target, and it looks like it is Railways who have the ball. The youngster was caught not in possession. The umpire was unsighted. The ball goes to ground. Players diving on top of it. It is bottled up somewhat. And, a little bit unlucky there for Blake Bunter, Glenn. He certainly was unsighted, but was tackled without the ball.
Tim Bitterscombe puts the ball into the air again. Jack Cocking gets the best of that ruck contest. It goes to ground, retrieves it himself. Ball does spill, however. Goes the way of the player there in Barton. Barton for Brigades gets it forward, but only as far as Latesia. Latesia for Railways feeds a handball out to Jesse Adamini. Adamini kicks under pressure, kicks it up towards half forward. In goes Jaden Schofield, does well, keeps the ball in front, was held while not in possession. So Jaden Schofield has the free kick on half back. Goes out wide, finds a player all on his own out there, and he has an opportunity to get the ball forward. He does so now. There goes the kick from that player in Deschamps. Deschamps gets it up ground, but only as far as Railways' Riley Zimmerman. Zimmerman on centre wing. Gets a short pass across to the Francis Street side and finds Kimberley. This time it's Peter. Peter Kimberley kicks it up towards half forward, looking up there for Cocking, but Cocking interfered with a couple of Brigades players, and the free kick will go the way of the Brigades player there. No, not Ben Boakman. It'll go the way of Jack Deschamps. So Jack Deschamps has the ball on half back, Francis Street side. So 5 minutes gone in this second term, with thanks to Melissa Price, the member for Durack. He goes out wide, but this time he's gone far too wide and is out of bounds on the full. So the ball will be brought back in by Latesia. Latesia kicks the ball forward, goes the way of Ben Saunders. He breaks the tackle for the Railway side, kicks it forward, but a good mark taken by the Brigades youngster there in Lewin Valley. Lewin Valley gets a short pass forward. In fact, it's Isaac Ronan who got the kick forward, looking there for a teammate, but Railways have the numbers, and Railways send the ball deep into attack, but it'll be very close to being out of bounds. It is now forced behind, or forced out of bounds, just near the point post, about 3 metres around from the right point post at the southern end of the ground. And looking at the scoreboard for New Fab Equipment, it is Railways 3 goals straight, 18. They trail Brigades 5-3-33.
Yes, in deep attack now, Railways. They'd like to get a goal since they have the breeze, and it is strengthening this afternoon, which means the third quarter, if they don't use it now, will be a bit of a goldfish, you'd think, for Dale Williamson and Brigades, but umpire is talking to some players out there at the moment, and it looks like what's happening. The game is sort of stopped at the moment, Glenn, so a player on the mark in defence. I don't know what's going on here. Maybe there's players coming off the bench and what knows what. The umpire certainly knows what he's doing. We just don't. So the ball comes back the way now of the...
Under the 50.
Yes,
throwing it in.
It's throwing it in the deep attack now for Railways, going back the way now of Kim Schofield. Puts it onto his boot. He kicks into space. No one can collect it. Mick Quick goes under the ball. He can't take the mark. The player is almost tripped as he goes for the ball in McGregor. The ball spills free now. Brigades do the better as they go to ground, but it's Tristan Simpson who picks it up. He kicks it backward to go forward, eventually does that. McGregor, he's a clever player, McGregor, not much of him. He goes down the ground, finds Deschamps. Deschamps in turn to Kim Schofield for the Brigade side. He kicks to the outer side, outside the centre square. The ball bounces. Brigades have a clear run now as the player runs onto the ball, and that's Schofield. Schofield now, he only knows where to kick it. He's got great sense. When he gets the ball, he kicks it toward Dale Williamson. He's set upon. Up they go. The ball spills free. Goes the way of Rowe. He's working well this afternoon. And ditto for Zimmerman, his co-player there. But the ball eventually goes the way of Ben O'Brien. And this time, Glenn, O'Brien doesn't make a mistake and puts it straight through the middle.
So Ben O'Brien gets a much-needed goal for the Hawks, who are doing really well against the breeze. They have kept their pace going. And it's Railways who are struggling to kick a goal with the breeze.
Just think, Glenn, how many goals that Jaden Schofield is involved in.
That's right, exactly. So a good bit of play there, and it was finished off well by Ben O'Brien from 30 metres. He doesn't miss from that angle or dead in front and from that distance. So a really good start for the Brigades side. They've kicked 2 goals in this term. Railways yet to kick their first. The margin is starting to stretch at this stage. It is a 21-point margin, still early stages of this second term of the Drennan O'Malley Motors game day. And, of course, this term with thanks to Melissa Price, the member for Durack. Still waiting on quarter-time scores from the other games. Of course, this game is running a little bit early compared to those games because it started early. Ball comes out of the centre from Graham Sandy from Brigades. Gets it to Ben O'Brien. Feeds it back towards Graham Sandy. Kicks it towards full forward. And a good, strong mark taken there by Kim Schofield. And Kim Schofield will shoot on goal. He's 25 metres out, directly in front, and can extend the lead even further as we head towards the middle stages of this second term. So Kim Schofield, the number 3 for the Brigades side in his yellow and orange boots, shooting on goal to the southern end against the breeze. And can he get Brigades' third goal in the opening stages of this term? There goes the kick. Looks pretty good off the boot. Goal umpire doesn't move. Brigades get their 7th. Kim Schofield gets his first. And on the new Fab equipment scoreboard, it is Brigades 7 goals 3 who lead Railways 3 goals straight.
Yeah, scary. I did mention a moment ago, Glenn, that if Railways didn't get some score with this breeze, it could get out of their control in the next term with the strong 3-goal breeze favouring the southern end, and Brigades are scoring against it, and they'll have that breeze in the next term. So ominous signs at the moment. See if they can change that. And I'm talking about the Blues, but the scoreboard certainly says that Brigades have a reasonable lead at the moment. They are 7 goals 3, and they lead Railways just 3 goals. You're listening to Radio Mumma, the home of GNFL football, and if you're after a new car, you can pick up a wonderful 2012 Toyota Land Cruiser Altitude Wagon. It's got Bluetooth, it's automatic, it's air-conditioned, tow bar, it's got leather interior, 8 seats, it's done only 119 kilometres for just $74,990. Contact Ron, John, Rachel or any of the team at Drennan O'Malley Motors.
As we see Brigades have the ball on the outer side, Francis Street side coming out of defence. They have it on half back. Schofield gets it up the ground. Looking up there, he finds only Railways' Tom Rowe. Tom Rowe kicks it back, goes to McGregor, feeds it out to Barton. In fact, it was Clanny Barton who had previously had the ball. Clanny Barton sends the ball forward again, looking there for some movement. Comes back to Brigades. Brigades get the ball up the ground, up towards centre wing, Francis Street side. Kimberley leads the race for the ball. Peter gives it to Matthew. Kimberley, that is. The ball eventually lands in the hands of Jackson Graham. Jackson Graham, big kick up towards half forward, towards the forward line, but Brigades' defence has been very good, and they take the ball out, and the ball goes out of bounds about 10 metres to the left-hand side of the new Fab equipment scoreboard, which reads Brigades 7-3-45, Railways 3 goals straight 18, as we go around the grounds with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton. Up at Northampton, quarter time, Northampton 3-9, lead Chapman Valley 1-1.
The ball coming inboard now, and Railways kick away toward the goals, but Castleton takes the mark, but the ball is coming back. Player was interfered with when he got rid of the ball, and that's Messina. Messina now will have a shot on goal. He'll kick from about 35 metres when he gets onto this one, maybe 40. He'll release it just in front of the Adam Hunter scoreboard, which is his side trailing as we head toward the middle stages of this game. They trail 3 goals straight to 7-3. Not a bad kick from Messina, but it goes straight across the face of goal. He got the breeze right at its tail, but it goes through for the minor score. So the ball about to be brought back in now.
The first scorer in this second term.
For Railways, yeah. Yep, certainly is, Glenn, and they need to up the ante somewhat because this game will be getting away from them, one would think. The ball now in defence goes out the way of the Floors Road side of the ground. Players go up. No one can take the piece of leather into their keeping. Railways player dives on top of it. And that's Messina. Almost dragged it in, but the umpire says no prior opportunity on this occasion, lads. And I'll throw it up again. Just outside the forward 50 now for Railways. A goal here would be important for the Blues. Messina is trying very hard to do that as he dives on top of the ball once again and bottles it up.
So the players getting into the game now, working their way into this contest. Can Railways find something? They have the ball in their forward 50. Brigades player was slung, so that'll be a free kick. The Brigades player would scrape himself off the ground. And in fact, the umpire is looking at perhaps giving a card. Yes, he's given a card to the Railways player.
Aaron McCartney is the player that was slung.
And Ben Saunders, the player who's been yellow carded. So Ben Saunders gets a yellow card, and Aaron McCartney gets the free kick. And maybe he would get a 50-metre, I would think.
Well, that's what I would think was.
When it's a yellow card, it was always used to be free kick and a yellow card, or 50 metres if you get a yellow card. So waiting on the umpire to give the ball to Aaron McCartney. I don't know what the hold-up is, to be quite honest. So waiting on the umpire to give the ball to Aaron McCartney.
Well, I think this is 2 occasions in this quarter that the umpires have stopped the momentum of the game, Glenn.
Yeah. So we're waiting on the umpire to be back in position, but he's just writing his notes. And Ben Saunders was yellow carded for a sling tackle, and Aaron McCartney was the recipient of the sling tackle. Free kick goes the way of Aaron McCartney, but I'm pretty sure it should have been a 50-metre penalty as well. As we see the ball now with Aaron McCartney on half back, puts it on his left boot, goes out wide and picks out Ben Bockman. Bockman takes a good strong mark on that outer side, plays on now for the Hawks. Short pass goes straight through the hands of that Brigades player who goes back in, has time to retrieve it, which is a pretty good situation. Picked up now by Kim Schofield. He kicks it towards half forward, but once again Tom Rowe on hands and knees gets a handball back, goes back to Nathan Paletti who kicks the ball forward. But this time it's the Brigades player's turn to drop the ball, and that player is Boakman. Ball held to him, and a Railways player will get up off him, and the umpire will come in and throw the ball up on centre wing, outer side, Francis Street side of Warren Taylor Homes Recreation Ground. 15 minutes gone, and once again a big tackle put on that player. 45 plays 19 in favour of the Hawks.
Yes, this quarter brought to you by Melissa Price, the member for Durack. Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football. The ball goes away to Champ now. Nice little handball. He gives it away to a teammate quickly onto his boot. That player is quick into the half-forward area. Up goes Williamson. It goes straight over his head. It's picked up now by the defender for Railways. He comes laterally. Almost a hospital pass to Kimberley. He can't take the mark. Sandy does. Gets it away to Quick. Quick in turn gets it back to a teammate. Goes one way, then the other. Eventually puts it on his boot and sends it forward. That's Kalani Barton. It was quite clever in the end as he goes the way of Ryder. Ryder spins around, puts it onto his boot, but he's off target and it goes through. Luckily for Railways, the minor score.
Yeah, good build-up there from Brigades. They moved the ball well. Graham Sandy was very good. So too was Ryder, apart from his finish. So, 16 minutes gone in this term, with thanks to Melissa Price, the member for Durack, on Drennen O'Malley Motors Game Day on Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football. And we'll be bringing you scores from around the grounds as they come to hand this afternoon. And the ball goes the way now of Railways half-back in Tristan Simpson. Tristan Simpson goes up the centre of the ground, or up the Francis Street side of the ground, looking out there for some run. He finds Cocking. Cocking puts it on his left boot, kicks it forward and picks out a teammate, and a good motor play there taken by the Railways player in Adamini. Jesse Adamini's marked the ball 45 metres out on a 45-degree angle. He knows where the goals are. He'll have the breeze blowing across his body as he kicks towards this and favouring the city end. So Jesse Adamini, he's kicked one this afternoon. Can he make it two? From 45 metres, the ball will drop short. Off hands, pack into the air.
Mark.
And a good mark taken by Ryan Latesia. The front of the pack, the big ruckman, has taken a beauty, but he's going to be on a pretty acute angle. Umpire's putting him around. He'll be right on the boundary line. Well, not quite, but...
If he took one step one way, he would have marked in the goal square there right in front.
That's right, but Ryan Latesia still should be close enough. Let's see how he goes. Looks pretty good. Goal umpire signals all clear. Latesia gets his first. Railways get their fourth. And on the new Fab equipment scoreboard, Railways are 4 goals, 1, which is 25. They trail Brigades 7-4-46.
One would think they may or may not have used the breeze as well as they should in this term, the Blues. Still a little way to go. Only 70 minutes gone in this, the second quarter on Drennen O'Malley Game Day. And Ryan Latesia, he's been a big pickup for Railways this year. Of course, he played at the Towns Footy Club, Glenn.
He did. Very interesting indeed. As we quickly go around the grounds with the thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton. Game being played out at Greenough today. And at quarter time, Rovers 7-4 lead Towns 1-5. And the game being played at Northampton. At quarter time, Northampton 3-9 lead Chapman Valley 1-1.
So, back in the middle at our game day. Glad to have your company this afternoon. Peter Forenza and Glenn Barnden bringing you all the action as the ball goes to ground. And he's trying to have an impact and being curtailed somewhat early in this game, and that is Jack Deschamps. I think Railways know he is the go-to man, Glenn, and they've put their best tagger on him this afternoon. The ball back in the middle, and, well, it looks like it is the Railways player in Boyle that's tackled high. The advantage is played, goes away of Adamini kicks into the half-forward area. Ball goes to ground, but no one can collect it. Railways do the better. In runs McGregor, almost is cleaned up. The ball spills free. Picked up by Adamini once again. He goes backward the way of Payer and Kimberley. Kimberley is almost caught in possession. Gee, the crowd yells and jeers, thinking that they just desserts wasn't given as the ball spills free. Eventually goes the way of Railways. They kick inside the corridor, but it comes back out again, and it goes the way of Railways as it does come out again, and they can send it forward again through Casey Clark. He sends it into the half-forward area. Players go up inside the corridor, and it's Cocking who soccers off the ground, and a much-needed goal for Railways, making the game very interesting as we head toward half-time.
Yes, we saw Railways to Dale Williamson has 2, singles to Graham Sandy, Ben O'Brien, Kim Schofield. So looking at the new Fab Equipment scoreboard as we head towards time on in this second term, we can tell you that Railways are 5 goals won, 31, and they trail Railways 7-4-46. Ball back in the centre with umpire Tim Bitterscombe, and he's telling Brigades they've had the warning has been given. They always give these warnings. I don't know what to choose. I think if you get so many warnings, you get a free kick, don't you? So the ball comes out of the centre, goes out of the way of Railways. Railways get it up towards the half-forward line. Can they get another very late goal from Jesse Adamini? Feeds it out towards Tristan Simpson. He feeds it out, looking out there for the hard-running Blake Messina. He's tackled. Oh. Messina was caught in possession. Good tackle put on Messina there by the player for Brigades in Jaden Schofield. So the ball goes out wide. It goes the way now of Mick Quick. Mick Quick has the ball on the outer side for the Hawks. Kicks it up forward, or up to the centre wing anyway. Finds the player there in Ryder. Ryder gets it up towards Sandy. Graham Sandy has the ball, 55 metres from goal. Plays on, kicks it towards full forward. Looking there for Dale Williams, and he did all the good body work. Then couldn't finish. But Schofield could. Jaden, in fact, dirty on himself for not marking that ball. He did all the hard work.
But the little fella was there to get
on the ground. And he has done well. So Brigades get their 6th goal scorer of the afternoon. And on the new Fab Equipment scoreboard, Railways are 5 goals won, and they trail the Brigade side 8 goals for.
Yeah, just when the Blues thought they were getting some traction, Ryder put paid to that. The ball back in the middle as we rapidly head toward the middle stages of this game. The ball is bottled up. No one had prior opportunity. Umpire Bennett retrieves it again. Up they go. Not too many tall fellas in the competition, Glenn. I think our ruckman, lucky they're 6 foot. The ball coming out of the centre square. And there he is again. He's doing okay this afternoon, Christopher Ryder. He sends it into the half-forward area looking for Sandy. He doesn't get on the first attempt. The ball spills free. It's Kimberley. Matthew Kimberley kicks to the outer side, finds Tristan Simpson. Simpson comes back across the ground diagonally, and running onto it is Paletti. Will he beat his opposite number? He will. Paletti collects it and isn't able to pick it up. The ball spills free. Goes forward from Boyle now. He gets it away to Kimberley. Kimberley's pushed in the back, but the inertia that took him forward has resulted in a mark, and a free kick will go the way of the player that took the mark, and that is Alex Newton.
Alex Newton shooting on goal. Been pretty quiet this afternoon. Alex Newton will shoot from just under 50 metres, or just over 50 metres. He's right on the line. The Brigades player will run up and try and put him off. So he's shooting towards the city end with the breeze at his back. So let's see how he goes. Alex Newton, a noted goal scorer. There goes his kick. Looks pretty good off the boot. And yes, it is a goal. No, it's not. Off hands, but it's roved by the Railways player. The umpire's asking the decision there. Jackson Graham picked it up and kicked the ball through. The umpire's saying,
He's got the goal.
The first goal is the goal. So Alex Newton got the goal. So Alex Newton goal will stand, and another goal for Railways.
Actually, they've given the goal to Jackson Graham, I think. So he's the guy they're good in the high fives. So Jackson Graham, of course, the son of the great Chewy Graham, of course, won a JJ Clune medal and also was coach of Railways for several years as well. And Jackson, his son, he certainly has a bit of pedigree there. So Jackson Graham, I think that might be his second goal in league footy. I think he got one a couple of weeks ago, Glenn. So the ball back in the middle now. So Railways not letting the leash out too much. The leg rope, as they say, on the Brigade side. The ball coming out of the middle goes away now of the little fella in Cashard. He bursts out of the middle, puts it onto his boot, but running a little bit too quick for himself on that occasion, and the ball comes off the side of his boot and goes out in the full forward area. So the ball will be thrown in. Another goal here to Railways will make things interesting, Glenn. They certainly haven't stopped the pressure. They've kept it up. As we head toward half-time, as I've mentioned, the ball coming in now. Brigades working hard, going the way of Schofield. That's Kim Schofield, straight down the middle of the ground. And the mark is taken by Riley Zimmerman.
Zimmerman, who's been in good form, a 50-metre penalty now. So Riley Zimmerman will go from the edge of the backward side of the square. He'll go within 20 metres of goal with a 50-metre penalty there. And the Railways would be pretty happy with that. Brigades would be disappointed with Fraser Ismail there, giving away that 50-metre penalty. So Riley Zimmerman, who was never going to kick a goal from where he was, will kick a goal from here, one would think. 20 metres out, directly in front. Railways get their 7th of the afternoon on the New Fab Equipment scoreboard. New Fab, and we see the 7th
Only 3
goal.
points in it now, Glenn.
Yep, 7 goals, 1, which is 43 to Brigades are 8 goals, 4, 52. So a bit more than 3 points. But
sorry.
Yeah.
Apologise.
So a good effort there from Railways to kick the last few goals. Well, in fact, they've kicked the last few and done it pretty well, actually. So a good situation there. So another one to Railways in the dying stages of this first half. And a good goal there to Riley Zimmerman, who doesn't kick many goals because he's generally up the other end of the ground.
Let's come back to the 9 points it was at quarter time.
That's
Glenn.
right.
So that's interesting, isn't it? Ball back in the middle now. Players setting themselves. It's going to be an interesting third term. Up they go. It's won by Brigades on this occasion. Coming out the way of Cash. RG rose the ball well for a youngster. Nice big kick on the run into the full forward area. But Castleton, the Rock of Gibraltar, takes a nice mark for Brigades. He comes laterally in front of the grandstand. And the mark is taken by Quick. Quick now. Just outside the defensive 50. Comes off the side of his boot, but he sees the lead. That lead is Ryder. Ryder can't take the mark. The ball spills free. Tries to keep it in his keeping. Dives on top of the ball. No one's able to get possession. The ball goes to ground. Eventually goes away of Kimberley. Back the way of Messina. Straight onto his boot and into the full forward area. And Jack Cocking, little Charlie Curnow, takes another mark and will have another shot on goal at the Augusta Street end.
So Jack Cocking is about 40 metres out on a 45-degree angle. And this would narrow it to 3 points if Jack can kick this goal. Jack Cocking has kicked 2 goals to this point.
He doesn't miss too many either, Glenn.
No, he's had plenty of shots from here over the years. Only a youngster, but he would have trained here on many occasions and kicked it goal. So let's see how Jack Cocking goes. Can he get his 3rd of the afternoon? Looks pretty good off the boot. Yes, he has. And he's made no worries about that. On the New Fab Equipment scoreboard, Railways are 8 goals, 1. Which is 49. They trail Brigades 8 goals for 52. 3 points to the margin as we quickly go around the grounds with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton. Quarter time scores up there at Northampton at Percher International Oval. Northampton 3-9 lead Chapman Valley 1-1. And just after quarter time at the game at Greenock Oval, Rovers 7-4 lead Towns 1 goal 5. So we have got the game of the day here at Warren Taylor Homes Recreation Ground. This second term, with thanks to Melissa Price, the member for Durack, on Drennan O'Malley Motors game day. And the umpire, Theo Bennett, gets the ball back into the air. The big fellas go at it. Ryan Latesia has the best of it for Railways. Kim Schofield is grabbed and tackled. Didn't have any prior opportunity.
Almost a 28-minute quarter, Glenn.
Yes, there's been a lot of goals scored because we've seen Railways score 5 and we've seen Brigades score 4. So a 9-goal quarter, which is quite a good goal-scoring rate. Ball picked up by Noah Cashard. The Perth Colts player grabs the ball, shoots on goal.
That is
beauty goal it is. That is from about 70 metres.
Unbelievable.
So Noah set off to kick the goal, and the ball just kept going. He got onto it. Well done, Noah. And a good goal there to Railways.
He's making the centre his own, Noah Cashard, isn't he, Glenn?
So a good bit of play there from young Noah.
Oh, gee.
The Perth Colts player showing how it's done. And all of a sudden, we find Railways are in the lead. This is for the first time this afternoon. And Noah Cashard, that was the goal of the day, if not the goal of the season.
He would have won a fridge a few years ago.
He would have. So well done, Noah. And a good bit of play there from Railways. So Railways have come back very quickly into the contest. and had a very good second half of this term.
Well, back in the middle, love what I saw just then. Noah Cashard, the boy from Dongra, roving out of the middle, straight onto his boot. The breeze got behind the ball, and it was almost a 70-metre goal. The ball coming inside the forward 50 at the Augusta Street end now, and Riley Zimmerman, another youngster, gets it out to, there he is, Cashard at centre wing. He spins around on a 50-cent piece, puts it onto his boot, sends it into the half-forward area. It's fisted away by the Brigades defence, who can't wait soon enough for half-time here at the recreation ground. They dive on top of the ball, just inside the forward 50, and the umpire will throw it up. So the breeze is not relented here this afternoon. It is a stiff 3-goal breeze favouring the Augusta Street end, the end to which Railways are kicking in this quarter. They didn't start well kicking with the breeze, but certainly have finished on song as the siren sounds to announce that it is half-time in our Drennan O'Malley game day. And at half-time it is Railways 9-1. They lead Brigades 8-4. And you're listening to Radio Mama. We are the home of GNFL football.
Today's Drennan O'Malley Motors Game Day is brought to you by our great sponsors, Warren Taylor Homes. They build you the home that you want with personalised service and a team that is right by your side through the entire process. Bring your home to life with Warren Taylor Homes. Stay tuned to the home of GNFL football, Radio Mama.
You mean cheating?
Today's Drennan O'Malley Motors Game Day is brought to you by our great sponsors, the team at Drennan O'Malley Motors. Make sure you make them your first choice for your second-hand cars. Stay tuned to the home of GNFL football, Radio Mama.
And a very good afternoon. Thank you for your company this afternoon. Drennan O'Malley Motors Game Day.
Drennan O'Malley
Glenn
Motors
Barden
GNFL Game
and
Day
Peter
this week
Forenza
comes
bringing
to
you all the action this afternoon. And at half-time, we can tell you what a good contest it is. Brigades have perhaps found themselves a little bit inaccurate in front of goal. Railways have been very accurate in front of goals. And at half-times, we can tell you that Railways 9-1-55 lead Brigades 8-4-52. So a 3-point margin in favour of Railways, who trailed by 9 points at the quarter time. Half-time summaries with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton. For Railways, Jack Cocking has 3. Singles to Blake Messina, Jesse Adamini, Ryan Letizia, Jackson Graham, Riley Zimmerman and Noah Cashard.
Thanks, love.
And looking at, for Brigades, their goal scorers, Jaden Schofield has 2, Dale Williamson has 2, singles to Graham Sandy, Ben O'Brien, Kim Schofield and Christopher Ryder. Peter, you're looking after the better players for Brigades. Who have you liked so far?
Well, Glenn, I thought Schofield, both Schofield brothers and both Jaden and Kim have been predominant. Jesse Castleton in defence, and I also thought that McGregor figured in that particular term.
And we'll go through the better players for Railways in just a moment as Railways get the ball out of the half back by Captain Ben Saunders, back on the ground after getting a yellow card. He comes out wide, looking there for Jack Cocky in front of our Radio Mama broadcast box as we quickly look at the better players for Railways and contenders for the Skeeters Restaurant Player of the Day. I like Ryan Letizia in the ruck, Matt Kimberley around the ball, Noah Cashard on the wing, Jack Cocking doing well up forward, Jesse Adamini, and Kyle Watts doing a good job at the moment on the big man, Dale Williamson. Dale has 2 goals, probably could have 3 or 4 if he had have taken the best of his opportunities. As Brigades win the ball out of the centre there through the player and Dak Champ. Gets it up towards half forward, finds O'Brien. O'Brien goes by hand to Graham Sandy. He's got good vision, goes in towards the forward pocket and finds Ryder. And Ryder has marked. And of course, Brigades have the use of the breeze in this quarter. It's important they use it because it'll be tough going in the last quarter if they went into the third quarter break trailing. So, in the opening minute of this third term, with thanks to Drennan O'Malley Motors, the player Ryder, who's already been in good form and kicked a couple of goals. Chris Ryder has in fact kicked 1 goal and he's now kicked 2 goals. So well done to him. And another goal to the Hawks and a very, very important one early in this third term. Adam Hunter's scoreboard. It is Railways 9-1 and Brigades 9 goals 4 as we quickly go around the grounds with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton. Half-time score up at Percher International Oval. Northampton 7-12-54 lead Chapman Valley 1 goal 4-8. 1 goal 4-10 I should say. So looking at the other game being played at Greenock Oval, it is Rovers 7-5-47. They lead Towns 2-7-19.
Ball back in the middle and Brigades, we're going to ride in a moment, have come out intent on making sure that they assert their authority early in the second half. Christopher Ryder finishing off with a fine goal there. Kim Schofield working hard in the middle, gets it once, twice, has 2 bites of the cherry, but doesn't get much inertia there. The ball goes straight into the middle of a host of players who dive on top of each other. And the ball will now be thrown up. Half-time, the difference in this match was simply 3 points, 55-52, in favour of Railways, but Brigade Sue made paid to that early in the third term by scoring minutes into the quarter. The ball is still inside the centre square. Umpire throws it up. Players setting themselves. Mitchell Boyle loitering. He gets the ball. He sends it out to Cocking. Cocking onto his boot. In fact, it's the little speedster who collected on that occasion, Noah Cashard, who scored a terrific goal earlier in this match. If you missed it, it was almost 70 metres, Glenn. It was something special by the youngster. The ball coming in, board now, going the way of Messina. Messina is dispossessed of the ball. The ball runs free, goes the way now of Clark. He too can't get purchase of the ball. Goes to the outer side, picked up by Schofield. It's Schofield to Schofield as Jaden Schofield marks it centre wing.
He comes across the ground, finds brother Kim Kim runs towards goal from 80 metres, kicks it up towards full forward, ball running free. And Railways player there in Matt Kimberley is keen to push the ball through for a force behind. So Railways playing the percentages there with Matt Kimberley. He plays on, brings the ball back in, finds Tristan Simpson in the back pocket just below the Adam Hunter scoreboard, which sees the 3-point margin in favour of the Hawks. There goes the kick up towards the Francis Street side. Ball spills, picked up by Ryder. And Ryder shoots on goal, but he's offline on this occasion. And a minus score results on his left boot. He put the ball towards the goal from about 48 metres, but he was offline. So 4 points to the margin now in favour of the Hawks. As Railways bring the ball back in through Tristan Simpson. He decides to come to the scoreboard side this quarter. Ball roved beautifully by Riley Zimmerman for Railways. He kicks it up towards centre wing, looking for Alex Newton, who's been quiet this afternoon. Ball smothered off the boot there by Jesse Adamini, and the Brigades player was Clay Sipler, had the ball smothered off the boot, and a boundary throw-in just in front of the coach's box here for Brigades. And Corey Foote would be looking for his side to make some value out of this breeze. Breeze still worth 3 to 4 goals, favouring the city end, the end to which the Hawks are kicking.
They have a slender lead at the moment to the Brigade side. The ball comes inboard now, just in front of our broadcast position. Kalani Barton sporting a new haircut this afternoon. Picks up the ball. He's a premiership player, but not their last one. He played in the one beforehand. So the ball comes down the wing now and goes away of Ryder. Ryder is interfered with, and that is Jamie Ryder, just in front of the grandstand here at the recreation ground. Sends it into the half-forward area, unopposed. Out he runs and takes a nice mark at Dale Williamson. He's on a pretty fair angle as he kicks toward the Augusta Street end, but he's going to back himself. He made a beautiful lead. Did the goal sneak, the leading goal kicker, record breaker, I should say, in the competition. Gee, that was a beautiful kick, and that's why he's got the record, Glenn Barton. That is Brigade's 10th goal of the afternoon. They are 10-6. They lead Railways 9-1.
Yes, that's Dale's third goal of the afternoon, and we know he's a confidence player, and that would give you anyone confidence to kick a goal as good as that one. That was a beauty from Dale Williamson, and his goal-kicking tally continues to rise, not only for this year, but for his career, which, as Peter mentioned, shows he is the league's leading goal scorer. A very important kick, a beautiful goal it was from a fair distance out, and Brigades get their 10th goal of the afternoon on the Adam Hunter accountant scoreboard. So Brigades have gone to 10 goals 6, and they lead Railways 9 goals 1. So 66 plays 55. Ball back in the centre with umpire Theo Bennett. Umpire Bennett and Bitterscombe in control of the game this afternoon and doing a fine job, the two young men for the GNFL. Ball comes out of the centre. Jesse Adamini feeds the handball out, but he handballed it straight to Kalani Barton. Kalani Barton kicks it up towards half forward. Ball running free. Ben Bookman's there. Picked up well by the hard-running player there in Jager Williams for Railways. Williams kicks it up towards half forward, looking there for the young man in Blake Messina. He feeds the handball back to Jesse Adamini. Adamini kicks it up towards full forward. Almost a good mark taken by the Railways player, but Brigades regroup and Brigades clear it through the agency of Castleton, who gets it on to Kalani Barton. Barton now big kick up towards half forward, looking again for Ryder. This time it's Christopher Ryder. Ball goes very close to the boundary line, and there'll be a boundary throw-in in front of the Railways coach on this occasion. And the Railways coach, Matt Powell, would be reasonably happy with what he's seen so far in this contest.
Yes, they've answered all the challenges, have Railways to this point. It's been a pretty fair tussle, bit of a arm wrestle here at the recreation ground. This third term brought to you by Drennan O'Malley Motors. I'll talk about a good car special they have in just a moment. In fact, it's a Land Cruiser. We'll update you on that. The ball coming out to Jesse Adamini, one of the favourites of the Clune medal at this stage of the season. Sends it down the wing in front of our broadcast position. Cocking's there. He's got 2 to beat. The ball spills free. Shaded Edwards can't pick it up. Mick Quick does, but he gives it straight to Edwards. He gets his kick ricocheted. It goes to ground. Kimberley gives it back to Edwards, onto his boot, into the half-forward area. Jackson Graham looking up into the sun, can't take the mark. The ball spills free. It's with Brigades now. Sepala, he has it. He gets it over to Barton. Barton now, he loses possession, goes toward the boundary and takes the ball over in front of our broadcast position. And gee, things are hotting up here in our Drennan O'Malley game day.
8.5 minutes gone in this third term, as the boundary umpire to put the ball back into play in front of our Radio Mama broadcast box Ball comes back into play. Picked up now by Cashard. Ball smothered off the boot. So Brigades go through Aaron McCartney. Ball spills, goes the way of Blake Messina. He runs through traffic, does it well, feeds it out to Alex Newton. Newton by hand, back to Messina. Messina by hand goes the way of Peter Kimberley. Peter Kimberley kicks it towards full forward, but good bit of play there from the young Brigades player in Lewin Valley, who stands his ground, takes a good mark, puts it on his left boot and picks out Clanny Barton on half back for the Hawks.
Barton figuring in kicks this afternoon. Good to see him back in form. The ball comes out to wing, goes the way now of Brigades, but Railways do the better in the end. And there it is, Messina. He kicks across the face of goal. Running out to get it is Jackson Graham. He's unsuccessful. His opposite number isn't. He collects it, gives it to a teammate. That teammate is Jaden Schofield. Schofield in turn gives it away to Quick. Back to Schofield. A searing kick straight down the middle of the ground. Bounces in front of Williamson. Will he be quick enough to beat Kimberley? The big and the small. Kimberley wins out. Underneath Williamson, he picks up the ball and kicks it back to the outer side. The Francis Street side of the ground where it's picked up by Tristan Simpson. He comes inboard again, and it is a dangerous kick because he was going to go backward instead of going forward, and he kicks it straight to young Sandy.
Graham Sandy lining up for goal, 40 metres out, 45-degree angle. Graham Sandy's kicked one this afternoon. Can he get his second? So Graham Sandy lining up for goal, kicking to the city end. Breeze at his back. Brigades have the breeze in this third quarter, so they need to make a little bit of a gap by the time we come to three-quarter time. There goes the kick from Sandy. Looks pretty good off the boot, but he's faded away to the left-hand side, 1 point only. So a scoreboard rolls over for Brigades, 10 goals, 7, 67. They lead Railways, 9-1-55 on the Adam Hunter scoreboard. This third term with thanks to Drennan O'Malley Motors, as the Railways defenders look to bring the ball in, and they do through Matthew Kimberley. He goes out wide towards the scoreboard side, finds Riley Zimmerman. Riley Zimmerman with the ball now in the back pocket. Goes with a short pass looking for Kyle Watts. Kyle Watts has marked, but the Railways taking it very hard to get the ball out of the defensive zone. Back to Zimmerman. So Zimmerman right on the boundary line in front of the scoreboard. Short pass goes the way of Tristan Simpson. So Brigades are locking down Railways pretty well at the moment, but they need to go forward. There goes the kick forward. Oh, the Brigades player misses perhaps what he would have normally taken. Went through his hands. Picked up now by the big man in Jesse Castleton. Castleton shoots the ball towards the boundary line. The umpire gives him the benefit of the doubt. And we could have been perhaps deliberate, but I think it was more of a skill error. But the boundary umpire to throw the ball back in. Francis Street side, Warren Taylor Holmes Recreation Ground. 11 and a half minutes gone. 67 plays 55 in favour of the Blues.
Yeah, it's a great game we have here, the Recreation Ground. The ball goes in. Adamini can't collect it. His opposite number does for Brigades. Tries to put it inside the corridor. Running out is Williamson. Unlucky. Goes away of Kimberley. He's racking up kicks this afternoon. Onto his boot. He sends it into the half-forward area. Newton is equal to the task. He too picks it up and sends it further afield. Running out now is Adamini. He's in the forward pocket. He's going up against the youngster in Valley. He knocks it forward. Goes one way then the other. It's picked up by Newton again. He gives it away to Cashard. Almost tackled high. Cashard is dispossessed of the ball. It goes inside the corridor. Eventually it's picked up by Kay Sipler. The reliable Sipler in defence, kicks it to the outer side, and Brigades have it at centre wing.
Yeah, good bit of play there from Schofield, making himself available. Taken there by the big Brigades man, Aldrich. He gets the ball forward, but it's taken now by the Railways player there in Williams. He gets it back towards half forward, finds Jack Cocking. He draws a player, feeds a handball out, and Railways still have it through Shaden Williams. Gives it to Noah Cashard. He breaks off the back of the square. Kicks it up towards full forward. Looking there for Jesse Adamini. Ball comes to the ground. Picked up by Clark. Handballs to himself. Ball still running free. Jesse Adamini has it in the left forward pocket. Runs towards goal. And Adamini has kicked a very good goal.
That's special.
An important goal there from Jesse Adamini. And he was really... looked for the gate and he found it.
He did.
He just kept walking, didn't he?
He sold the dummy and he went straight into, as a jockey would say, the bit of space that was there, the gap, and he used the check side kick and finished off well. He's a class player as Adamini, and as I said, one of the favourites for the Clune Medal in season 2022. And if you're after a Toyota Land Cruiser Altitude 200 Series wagon, they've got a deal for you at Drennan O'Malley Motors. It's air-conditioned, power steering, cruise control, Bluetooth. It's only 2012 and has only done 119,000 kilometres for the crazy price, Glenn, of $74,990. See the crew at Drennan O'Malley Motors. You'll find them on Chapman Road.
So Jesse Adamini has 2 goals now as we look at the Adam Hunter scoreboard. And it is Brigades 10-7, 67. Railways 10-1, 61. 6 points the margin. Middle stages of this third term. Whistle on play. And Graham Sandy is caught in possession. Free kick will go the way of Mitchell Boyle. So Mitchell Boyle to send Railways into attack against the breeze in this third term. Mitchell Boyle looking for some movement. Umpire says play on now. Boyle does. Kicks the ball up towards half forward. Railways players fly. Brigades slap the ball forward. Picked up by Blake Messina. He goes by hand to Latesia. He goes by hand to Cocking. Cocking goes by hand to Cashard. Cashard kicks towards goal. Ball running free again. And Adamini gets another one. Jesse Adamini gets his third of the afternoon.
Wow. And
he's made something out of nothing on 2 occasions now. And Railways.
They're back in front.
11 goals, 1. I think it's 11-1 to 10-7.
Good kicking by the Blues.
Very good kick, yeah. So very, very good kicking. So the scores are level, 67 apiece. 67 apiece on the scoreboard for Adam Hunter.
Scores are level.
Yeah.
Gee, it is a game and a half we have here at the Recreation Ground. There's still almost a half a footy to go. So if you want to see something special, come down to the Warren Taylor Homes Recreation Ground. This is our Drennan O'Malley Game Day, brought to you kindly by Drennan O'Malley Motors, and you'll find them in Chapman Road. This quarter brought to you by our very sponsors. The ball back in the middle now. And, well, couldn't get any more even than 67 apiece. Players setting themselves. Paletti goes up. He wins the knock on this occasion. Goes away of Boyle. Been instrumental throughout the game this afternoon. Out into space he goes. It's almost picked up by Delaney. Delaney is dispossessed. So too is his teammate who goes to ground, goes back the way of Sandy. Sandy in turn gives it away to Deschamps. Deschamps can't really get traction in today's game. He loses possession. Goes away now of Messina. Messina goes back to the player there. And he did well in getting rid of the ball. He's dispossessed as he went forward. And, he hit the ground hard. And that was the player there who hit the ground was not looking too good. No, it wasn't yet. Dak Deschamps hit the ground, but both players went in together. Ben Saunders was hit pretty hard too, Glenn, but he came out the better of that passage of play. The ball is with the big Latesia for Railways. And he sends it into the full foot area. And there he is again. Castleton takes a nice strong mark.
Castleton's been good this afternoon. Gets the ball forward. Ball spills now. Comes back towards Cashard. He was pushed in the back. And the umpire could see that from where he was. And I could see it from where I am. And Noah Cashard will get the free kick. 52 metres out. Directly in front. Kicking to the southern end of the ground. There goes the kick. It's a shocker. Off the side of the boot. Ball running free. Gives Adamini a chance to run onto it. So he'll do something with it. Adamini grabs the ball. Kicks it back towards the forward line. Looking for Latesia. Looking there for Cocking. Railways player in Cocking puts a good pressure on the Brigades defender. Player had no prior opportunity. And umpire Tim Bitterscombe will come and throw the ball up again. So we've got a really good contest here. Two top sides going at it pretty hard. Brigades have it through Graham Sandy. He gets swung, kicks the ball along the ground, hasn't got a lot of distance. In goes Kimberley. Kimberley's tackled high, and Kimberley will get the free kick. So Brigades have given away another free kick, and this time it is to Kimberley, and he'll turn around and shoot on goal, and he's only about 35 to 40 metres out. This time it's Peter Kimberley. So 67 apiece. Scores are level as we head towards time on in this third term, with thanks to Drennan O'Malley Motors. So Peter Kimberley playing a good game, as he always does, alongside his brother Matt. There goes the kick. Ball drops short, off hands. Ball running free. Brigades will be keen to get it through, but Railways are keen to keep it in play. Goes the way of Newton. Newton slaps the ball out. Picked up again by Valley. Comes the way of the player there in Schofield. Kim Schofield gets it to brother Jaden Schofield. He goes up towards centre wing where he finds Graham Sandy. Graham Sandy looks further afield, looking up there for Christopher Ryder. Christopher Ryder takes the ball cleverly, puts it on his left boot, kicks it towards full forward, looking up there for the hard-running player in Ben O'Brien. O'Brien puts it on his left boot, looks out looking for Deschamps. He crawls over at the crucial stage, and Riley Zimmerman settles the ship, gets a short pass, gets to Noah Cashard, and Railways are out of trouble. Ball on centre wing with Blake Messina.
Blake Messina now, the youngsters getting hold of the ball. Ditto as we see it come down to Blake Bunter, the younger brigade for Railways. Bunter wearing the helmet. He goes in looking for Boyle. but it bounces in front of him and goes away. Jaden Schofield away again to the player there in Graham Sandy. Sandy into the full forward area, and Christopher Ryder comes out and takes a nice strong mark. So Christopher Ryder, he should use the breeze with this. He's going to be about 30 metres when he gets onto this one, kicking toward the Augusta Street end. He's not confident then, but he should be with the breeze still pretty strong this afternoon. A 3-goal breeze favouring that end. So he's settled with the fact that he has to kick this one. Have a go anyway. So 18, nearly 90 minutes gone. In comes Christopher Ryder. It's not a bad kick. Will it make the distance? Yes, it will, but it fades too far to one side and through for the minor score. And it's interesting, Glenn, in today's West Australian, they're showing some data, or data as some people put it, where they actually keep data on the efficiency of footballers, how they kick the ball. And Pendlebury is the AFL's most efficient kicker.
Well, that's good. So a very good player indeed. As the ball comes back into play, Brigades desperate for the next major of the afternoon. 10 goals, 8 Brigades lead Railways, 11 goals, 1. 68 in favour of Brigades, 67 for Railways. And we're into time on in this third quarter. Drennan O'Malley Motors game day. Umpire Bennett throws the ball up just in front of the scoreboard, in front of the grandstand. Ball roved by Kim Schofield, kicks it towards half forward. Players come from everywhere. Graham Sandy's there, feeds the handball out, picked up again by Kim Schofield. He kicks it towards the forward pocket, looking for Jack Deschamps. Ball running free. Tristan Simpson's there, sees the ball across the boundary line, and there'll be a boundary throw in deep in the left forward pocket.
Then if you remember this corresponding game early in the season, Jack Deschamps was pretty dangerous, but he's been kept quiet today.
He has, yeah. It's been interesting, hasn't it? And it's interesting to see. That was a really big win on that day by Brigades. Brigades led all day and ended up winning by 60 points. But today is a really nail-biter, a tight contest. But Railways would be thinking they're on pretty good terms with themselves. Heading in towards three-quarter time. We know Railways are probably the fittest team in the competition.
And they come home with the breeze.
They come home with the breeze, which is pretty handy as well. But that won't do it for you, but it certainly does help.
The ball in the defensive area now goes the way of the player there in Jager Williams. He goes laterally and finds this player who puts it onto his boot, sends it down the wing. It's Blake Bunter who gets the ball at centre wing just in front of the dugout for Brigades. He kicks it in front of Deschamps. In fact, it's not. It's Letessia, the big ruckman for Railways. He tries to soccer it forward. He can't get traction. The ball spills free, goes away the defensive play for Brigades now. They get it to the outer side, and it's Jaden Schofield, who is racking up kicks this afternoon, sends it inboard. They play on now, do Brigades. They could maybe finish off with a goal here as Sandy puts it onto his boot. Into the full forward area. Up goes Williamson. He's dealt with, and he'll shoot on goal for his third of the afternoon.
Yes, so Dale Williamson has an opportunity to get his, I think it's his
number 4, yeah.
His fourth of the afternoon. If he's good enough, he saw it kick the beauty the last time. So Dale Williamson, he's on the other side this time.
It was a beautiful build-up again from Brigades, wasn't it?
Yeah, and the two Schofield boys involved, so too is Graham Sandy. He's really lifted his work rate in this quarter. As we see Dale Williamson from 40 metres out, shoots on goal. He's pretty happy. That's his fourth of the afternoon. And on the Adam Hunter scoreboard, we can see that Brigades now are 11 goals, 8. And 11-8 plays 11-1. So 7 points the margin in favour of the Hawks. And we haven't got a lot of time to play in this third term, thanks to Drennan O'Malley Motors. And, of course, we'll bring you quarter-by-quarter scores from other games, and we can do that now. Up there at Rovers at the moment, a pretty interesting scoreline, and it's still Rovers are in control there. And very, very good performance from Northampton. They're going well up at Northampton, up at Percher International Oval, and they brought in the big guns today. Harry Taylor, Kingsley Smith and Beau Walker are all playing this afternoon for Northampton.
The ball back in the middle now. The last goal scored by Williamson. He's been important this afternoon as the ball comes out of the middle. McGregor, gee, it was beautiful out of the pack. A nice mark is taken in the half-forward area by O'Brien. O'Brien now. Can he set something up? He goes inboard. He's looking for a lead. And out he goes. And I think it was, up he goes. And Williamson. He was just, it was almost telegraphed then. But once the strong arms of Dale Williamson go up and the ball's headed for them, there's no way you're going to chop them out of the way. So Dale Williamson will now have a shot number 5 on goal. So let's see how he goes. 4 from 4. Let's see how he goes with this one. He's almost the same amount of distance out. The Josh Kennedy skip. He
Looks good.
Pokes at the ball. What's he done? He's put it through the middle. That's goal number 5 for Williamson. And as we head to the three-quarter time break, Brigades are starting to assert their authority.
Yes, they certainly are. So it's interesting times, but as we know, they've still got a quarter to play, and we know that Railways do come home with their breeze at their back, and they generally run the game out. But Brigades putting themselves in a pretty good position at the moment. They give themselves some opportunities. So really good to see Brigades winning the ball out of the centre as clearly as they have in the last quarter. And the young fellows in there, Kalani Barton, Aaron McCartney, all know how to get the ball out of the centre. So too does Kim Schofield. And they're doing it pretty well.
It's just impressive watching Dale Williamson. He's the only player probably in the competition in excess of 100 or so kilos, Glenn, but he certainly can move pretty fast carrying that weight.
Yeah, he's playing a good season, a really clever season, and his confidence grows. And after 5 goals by three-quarter time, he's full of confidence, and he was kicking goals well at the moment. Ball back in the centre. In goes Ben Bockman for Brigades. Ball smothered off the boot. Comes out now, goes the way of Michael Quick. Mick Quick gets a handball back to Bockman. Bookman goes forward and finds Geordie O'Brien. Geordie O'Brien on the edge of the square. Geordie O'Brien kicking towards the city end. Kicks not a good one. Goes the way of Ryan Letessia. And Letessia comes in before Dale Williamson could get to the ball, and Letessia takes a good mark. He's a pretty handy player.
He is,
Letessia.
indeed.
He's a good ruckman. He can play up forward, and as we can see there, he can go back as well.
He's a tap ruckman. He gets around the ground pretty easily too,
he does.
Glenn.
Yeah, he's very mobile, very mobile. So the best ruckman Railways have had for a while.
Yes.
The ball comes the way now of Mitchell Boyle. Mitchell Boyle centres the ball to centre wing, but Clay Sippler, he reads the ball beautifully off the boot.
Ever.
And Clay Sippler takes a very strong mark. There goes Sippler's kick up towards full forward, looking for the man, Dale Williamson. He couldn't mark. Ball goes the way of Kim Schofield. Schofield handballs it away, looking there for Jaden Schofield, but it's picked up by Kimberley, and Kimberley saves the day as he does so often. Short pass goes the way of Noah Cashard. But there it is, three-quarter time at the football. Entertaining game of football it is in our match of the day for Drilling O'Malley Motors. And we can tell you that Brigades 12-8-80 lead Railways 11-1-67. And you're tuned to Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football.
Sorry.
Today's Drenno Mallee Motors Game Day is brought to you by our great sponsor GT Russell Chartered Accountants and Business Advisors, helping your business work for you today and tomorrow. Stay tuned to the home of GNFL football, Radio Mama.
And a very good afternoon. Welcome back. Three-quarter time of football. Drenno Mallee Motors Game Day. Glenn Barnden and Peter Fiorenza. And at three-quarter time, what a game we have here at the Recreation Ground. A really entertaining game. Brigades 12-8-80 lead Railways 11-1-67. A 13-point margin. And a really big contest here as umpire Tim Bitterscombe about to get this final quarter underway for GT Russell Chartered Accountants. And the big fellas go at it. And this time Bockman has the best of it, but is roved now by two players, Deschamps and Ben Saunders. Ben Saunders cleverly slaps the ball forward. Looking there for Adamini. Brigades, Aaron McCartney gets it back towards the player there in Saunders. Eventually the ball spills. Comes the way of Castleton. Castleton goes with a short pass, looking for Deschamps. Finds that player. Picked up now by Jaden Schofield. Schofield kicks it up towards centre wing, Francis Street side. But the ball's picked up again by Matt Kimberley. He goes by hand to Letizia. Letizia by hand to Boyle. And Mitchell Boyle, big kick, up towards full. Oh, up goes Jack Cocking.
Jeez.
Almost a screamer. He came down awkwardly. Let's hope he's okay. Ball comes the way now of the Brigades defender.
If anything,
goes the way of
Jaden
Jaden Schofield. Yeah, he certainly got up there. And I think he thought, what am I doing up here? And eventually he had to come down. So Lux of Fortune, he's thankfully up and away is Jack Cocking, who's been very good again this afternoon, the young man. Ball comes the way of Brigades defence. It's a tight contest. It's a rugged contest. Railways have it through Letizia. He puts it on his left boot. Kicks it up forward, but the ball is cut off again by Castleton, who's been outstanding this afternoon. Short pass, looking there for Ben O'Brien. Ben O'Brien's got Tom Rowe to beat, and he sees the ball across the boundary line, and there'll be a boundary throw-in. This last quarter brought to you with thanks to GT Russell Chartered Accountants. Our best players with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton and Skeeter's Restaurant. Who are the players that impressed you for Railways?
In the last term was Barton, Castleton,
Brigades, I should say.
McGregor and Williamson, Glenn.
For Railways, Letizia, Matt Kimberley, Noah Cashard, Jack Cocking and Jesse Adamini, as Mitchell Boyle sends Railways deep into attack.
Yeah, Mitchell Boyle's had a bit of the ball too, Glenn, as he sends it inside the corridor, and there goes Cocking. Doesn't take much time to get it off his boot. He sends it into the full forward area, and running through is Messina, who marks on a very tight angle just in front of the line, in front of the point post there, and he'll have a shot on goal. But check side kicks for these youngsters are just a dime a dozen, Glenn, so let's see what he does. So Messina kicking at the Augusta Street end. The breeze still fierce. No, he doesn't know what he's doing with that kick. Goes straight across the face of goal. Acted like he did, but had no idea. But it went straight down the throat of the player on the far side, and that is Paletti. I think it's Paletti. And now he will have a shot on goal. So he's almost at the same angle, though. 180 degrees it went. So in front of the goal, I should say the scoreboard, which reads his side 11-1 trailing Brigades 12-8. So check side kick. What's he done? Nope, it's gone across the face as well and missed all and sundry, I think. So the ball will now be brought in. In fact, yep, it's missed everything. So that was a bit of a wasted effort on both accounts of those two players for Railways. But they do have the breeze to contend with, so the angle probably did play. The breeze and the angle together were a factor. The ball coming out of defence now with Seppala. Seppala on the far side for Railways, Brigades, I should say. Sends it to the outer side, just outside the forward 50, though. The ball's picked up by Brigades. They go further afield. Can Ryder run onto it? No, he can't. The ball spills free. Goes away of Kimberley. He knows what to do. Gives away to a teammate who puts it straight onto his boot and into the half-forward area. And there he is again. Messina takes a mark just outside the forward 50 for Railways.
Blake Messina's kept running throughout the day, making himself available. So Messina is 50 metres out from goal. So he'll be battling to make the distance from there, but let's see how he gets onto it. He's generally a pretty good grip.
Some kicks with the breeze look pretty good, Glenn.
There goes the kick from Messina. Looks very good off the boot, and it looks very good indeed. That is a 50-metre goal with a breeze. So well done to young Blake Messina, and a very important goal. Railways get their first of this final term. 4 minutes gone, so a very important goal. Railways now go to 12 goals, 1, which is 77. They trail Brigades 12 goals, 880. As we quickly go around the grounds with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton. And there's a game being played up at Percher International Oval this afternoon. And it's going as predicted. Northampton at three-quarter time, 9 goals, 14, 68. Lead Chapman Valley 2 goals, 5, 17. The other game is being played out at Greenough Oval today. And at three-quarter time, Rovers 10-7, 67. Lead Towns 4 goals, 10, 34.
Not as high a scoring game as this one here this afternoon, Glenn. There are 24 goals scored in this particular game. It's good to see the ball coming out of the centre square. O'Brien has a tussle with Rowe. Both go to ground. No one can get possession, and the whistle does sound. The ball will be thrown up. So, quarter time. The difference was some 13 points in favour of Brigades. It's been shortened by their arch rivals in Railways in the early stages of the final term. Coming out of the pack, it goes away of Kim Schofield. He sends it into the half-forward area. Running onto it to try and do something with it is Christopher Ryder. The boundary comes into play. He knocks it in, but the ball is ricocheted back out again. And in the full-forward area now, in the forward pocket for Brigades, the ball will be thrown in now. And to call the action for this passage of play is Mr. Football Glenn Barnden.
7 points the difference. And they have 5.5 minutes gone in this final term with thanks to GT Russell Chartered Accountants. Ball comes back into play. A goal against the trend, and this end would be worth its weight in goal for Brigades. Picked up now by Aaron McCartney. He cleverly centres the ball.
Clever.
Finds Jack Deschamps. Jack Deschamps is still a fair way out. Plays on with a short pass. Looking there for Graham Sandy. Ball running free. Sandy under pressure goes backwards to go forward. Picks out Jaden Schofield. Schofield from 40 metres. Shoots on goal. And Jaden Schofield gets a very good goal. And he's been outstanding again this afternoon. Schofield gets his third goal of the day. And Jaden Schofield, very, very good kick. And as we say, it's a very important goal while they had the ball in their forward 50.
He doesn't waste an opportunity when he gets the ball, does he? He's either contributing to someone else scoring a goal or he's getting one himself. He's the best player by far at the moment in the competition, Glenn.
And New Fab Equipment scoreboard sees that the Brigade scoreboard, 13 goals, 8, 86. And they lead Railways, 12 goals, 1, 73. So a fine goal there. Game still anybody's. 6.5 minutes gone in this last quarter. Umpire Bennett and Umpire Bitterscombe in charge this afternoon, doing a great job for GNFL football. Ball comes the way of the player there, and Aaron McCartney for Brigades. Puts it on his left boot, slaps it forward, looking to get some movement. In goes Tom Rowe. Ball spills out. In goes the hard-running Ryder. He does well. Jamie Ryder ball is overtaken, though, taken by Zimmerman. It goes by hand to Matthew Kimberley. Matt Kimberley breaks across half-back, kicks it up towards half-forward, looking up there for Noah Catchard. He couldn't mark. In goes Blake Messina. In goes young Lewin Valley. He does well. Soccers the ball forward, goes the way of Mitchell Boyle. By hand to Kimberley. By hand it goes to Blake Bunter. Bunter puts it on his left boot, kicks it towards half forward, and a good strong mark taken there by Jesse Adamini. But he plays on. Maybe the mark wasn't paid. Picked up now by Ben Saunders. Saunders kicks it up towards full forward. Ball running free. In goes Jack Cocking. So too does the Brigades player. Unlucky not to get a free kick there. The jumper was certainly pulled. Picked up now by Drew McGregor. McGregor goes with a short pass and finds Kim Schofield. Kim Schofield grabs the ball, takes one bounce, two bounce, runs towards centre wing, looking for brother Jaden.
Look at that. That is so clever.
Goes back towards Kim Schofield, but the ball goes straight up in the air, and the ball is out of bounds on the full, and Ben Saunders will bring the ball back into play.
Jaden Schofield was running into Mitchell Boyle at that occasion, Glenn, and he more or less cupped the ball and pulled it back into his body under a lot of pressure. He is a star, that fella. The ball in the half-forward area now. It's going the way of Railways. Can they do something? But the defensive play for Brigades is making light of that, or are they? Sippler, he certainly has paid his fees this afternoon to be in this game. He's played a big impact. He's had a big impact, I should say. He kicks it into the middle of the ground. Goes away of Kimberley. Kimberley outside the centre square. Finds Cashard. Cashard now. He'll kick in. Inside the forward 50. It holds up in the breeze. Up they go. Up goes the youngster in Cocking again. He's going to take a huge screamer very, very soon, that's for sure. He gets right up there, but doesn't take it on this occasion. The ball goes to ground. Players diving on top of each other. And with the time in the back of almost 9 minutes gone in this particular term, the ball comes out and the mark is taken by Paletti.
So the ball, in fact, it's Aldrich. Todd Aldrich with the ball. Aldrich kicks it up towards the forward pocket, looking up there for a
mark.
teammate, finds that player, and the Railways player in Peter Kimberley is marked, and a good mark it is too. A very, very timely one, deep in the right forward pocket, and he's about 25 metres out. So the margin can narrow very, very quickly if Peter Kimberley can kick this one. Let's see how he goes. Right forward pocket, shoots on goal, puts it up in the air. It goes across the face of goals. In fact, it goes through for a minus score. So Railways on the new Fab Equipment scoreboard go to 12 goals 3. And we see that Brigades are 13 goals 8. So very good kicking from the Railway side. In fact, it's 12 goals 2. So 14 scoring shots, plays some 21. So a lot more scoring shots to Brigades, but Railways have been very efficient in front of goal, so that's kept them well and truly in this contest, and they're still in this contest with a big chance to win it as Brigades to bring the ball out of defence. As with the ball now is with Schofield, Kim Schofield. Brings the ball up along the clubroom side of the ground, looking there for some movement. Railways players spoil each other. And the ball's picked up now by Brigades' Aaron McCartney. He kicks it up towards centre wing. Good strong mark.
That is a strong
taken
mark
by the Brigades player.
He comes out of defence now, kicking it. Ishmael it is. He's kicking out to the wing. He's looking for Ryder. Doesn't take it on the first attempt. He almost gets it on the second. In move the Railways players now. Ben Saunders. He doesn't mess around. He gets a handball straight across the passage of play. Goes the way now of a couple of players. Eventually, it's picked up by Railways. They send it into the half-forward area. Nice big kick. It gets the breeze behind it, but comes off hands and spills over the boundary. So, a strong breeze still favouring the Augusta Street end. Railways still have it in their keeping, this breeze. It's only 11 minutes gone in this, the final term. 13-8 plays 12-2 in favour of the Hawks. As I said, Railways have the breeze, though. The ball drops short, just outside or just inside the forward 50. And the umpire says, give it to me, boys, and we'll ball it up. Don't forget that Land Cruiser. That's a special at Drennan O'Malley Motors. It is a diesel V8, 4.5 litre, just $74,990. Talk to Drennan O'Malley about that deal today.
Ball goes out of bounds on the full, so Brigades to bring the ball back into play as we go around the grounds with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton. 3/4 time at the football at Northampton, Percher International Oval. Northampton 9-14-68, lead Chapman Valley 2 goals 5-17 as Railways go forward again through Tristan Simpson, but Tristan is offline, so Railways getting another minus score. Railways are 12-3-75, and they trail Brigades 13-8-86. And looking at the other game being played today out at Greenock Oval, 3/4 time, Rovers 10-7-67, lead Towns 4-10-34.
Ball coming out of defence now, but it's locked in by Railways. The ball is with Jager Williams. Williams sends it soaring into the full forward area. Up goes that player and cocking again. He can't take the mark. The ball spills free. Goes away with Kimberley and a check side kick, and he scores a beautiful goal, roving off the pack. And that's a great goal for Railways. And they now go to 12 goals 3. They trail Brigades 13 goals 8. And this is Drennan O'Malley game day. And it's our best game so far this year, Glenn.
Yeah, it's a beauty. As you'd expect, the top of the table clash. And Peter Kimberley getting that goal. And he's made something out of nothing, so he's continued to play well. It's still anybody's contest, this one. Still plenty of time to play in this game, and we know that Railways have the breeze at their back. Railways have a history of finishing the game strongly. So it's 81-88, so it's a 5-point ball game. Or is it a 6-point ball game? 6-point, 5-point.
5-point, Glenn.
Yeah.
5 points.
So I don't think the points are right on that scoreboard. The ball comes the way of the player there in Schofield. Schofield goes out wide, looking there for a teammate. But once again, Railways have the numbers through Jager Williams. Williams puts it on his boot, shoots towards the outer side, and keeps the ball in play without going out of bounds on the full. So the boundary umpire to throw the ball back in. So looking at the new Fab Equipment scoreboard, it is Railways 13 goals 3, 81. And we see that Brigades are 13 goals 8, 86. So
yes.
A 5-point ball game.
Certainly is a great game here this afternoon. The crowd have been well and truly entertained as the ball goes away now of Latassia. I've liked his game today. He's played a few good matches since joining the Blues from Towns. Comes out to our broadcast position and is picked up on this occasion by the player there in Corey Clark. He sends it inboard, picked up by Messina, swings around, puts it onto his boot, heads toward the big sticks, cocking, lurking in the shadows, picks it up, is unable to get the bounce kindly. Eventually he gets it again, goes away of Kimberley. He's tackled and caught in possession. Great tackle by the defender for Railways, I should say Brigades there in... He puts it onto his boot. He sends it into the half-forward area, but straight down the throat of Ben Saunders. So Ben Saunders now for Railways. He goes inboard. Nice big kick by Saunders. Up inside the corridor. Up they go. Comes off Railways' hands. Goes to ground. Picked up again by Shaden Edwards. Kicks into the man just in front of him. Ricochets inside the corridor once again. Going the way of the defender who tries to handball out of danger. He's able to do it in the end, but only as far as that player... in Boyle, who picks it up, puts it onto his boot, shoots toward goal. But on this occasion, he gets the distance, but not the accuracy. And through again, through for a minor score.
So the margin narrows, 4 points. So the next goal, if Railways kick it, would put them in front. And Brigades desperate to get the ball up the other end of the ground.
Lewin Valley was the youngster that put on that tight tackle. Glenn. Yes. It was pretty good.
So it's been a really tight finals-like atmosphere here this afternoon. Good crowd in attendance, as you'd expect, for the top of the table clash. Ball comes out, 82 plays, 86 in favour of the Hawks. Can Brigades hold on? Jaden Schofield gets it up the ground and finds Ryder. This time it's Jamie Ryder. Jamie Ryder kicks it up towards centre wing, looking up there for O'Brien. O'Brien can't control the ball, picked up now by Lucas. Lucas goes by hand to Bookman. Ball spills, picked up by the player there for the Hawks, who gets it forward. Ball running free. Graham Sandy, can he put a handle on it? Goes by hand to Ryder. Smothered well off the boot there by the player there in Kimberley. And once again, Railways are out of trouble through Williams. Goes by hand to Kyle Watts. Kyle Watts gets to Zimmerman. And Zimmerman goes forward. And Zimmerman gets it up towards Mitchell Boyle. Mitchell Boyle breaks across the centre wing. Goes by hand to Ben Saunders. He sets sail for home from 60 metres. And just off hands, and almost a good mark to Cocking, and 1 point only. So 83 plays 86 in favour of the Hawks, and we've played 16 minutes in this last quarter with thanks to GT Russell Chartered Accountants.
A 3-point ball game, and the siren isn't too far away. Almost 70 minutes gone in this term. Ball on the far side. It's with Brigades. Another goal here would be timely against the breeze. Goes away of Ryder. He thought he took the mark, but he didn't. It goes away of his opposite number. Puts it onto his boot. Sends it inside now. Railways have something through Shaden Edwards. He goes one way, then the other. He's all on his lonesome. Puts it onto his boot. Shoots at the big sticks. And over the top of the pack it goes, but far too far to one side and through for the minor score. So, pressure is on both teams then as we head to the red time here in our Drennan O'Malley game day.
New Fabe equipment. Railways are 13 goals, 6, 84. They trail Brigades 13 goals, 8, 86. So a 2-point ball game. The ball is in the forward 50. Railways trying to lock it in. Can Brigades get another late score? Ball comes forward. You'd think that Railways have the opportunity, but Brigades are working hard, trying to get the ball up the ground. It's 19 scoring shots to 21 in favour of the Hawks. So Railways have seen the ball not as often in their forward 50, but Brigades have an opportunity now. They have the ball on centre wing, Francis Street wing. Railways player gave away a 50-metre penalty. Very, very costly indeed at this stage of the game. The ball was on centre wing, Francis Street side, and all of a sudden Brigades have it on the half-forward line. So Brigades have it on half-forward. There goes the kick from Jordan O'Brien. Looking there for Williamson. Ball running free. Picked up by Ryder, or smothered through by Ryder. Soccer through it was. And well done to Ryder. And the ball went over the back of the pack. And this time was Jamie Ryder. And Jamie Ryder sockered it through.
Ronaldo.
So now we've got an 8-point ball game, Peter. So we've got 18 minutes gone. 8 points the margin. So Railways need the Techs 2 goals to get this game. So Brigades in a very good position as we head towards time on in this final term, with thanks to GT Russell Chartered Accountants on Drennan O'Malley Motors game day. And this sort of is a very, very entertaining game of footy.
Yes, 14, 15, 16, 17 goals scored in this game of football. I should say 27 goals, nearly 30 goals scored in this game of football. And it certainly has been a spectacle this afternoon. The ball coming back into the middle now. Brigades have the ascendancy. 14-8 plays 13-6. That's right. Goals are raining at the recreation ground as the ball goes away of Kim Schofield. He's pulled off the ball. The ball spills free, comes outside the centre square. Diving on top of it are a couple of players. Brigades do the better of it. Goes away now of Sandy. He's been effective this afternoon as he goes to ground in front of our broadcast position. The umpire says we'll ball it up, boys. Time ticking away. 19 minutes gone here in the final term. It is an 8-point ball game, as Glenn mentioned. Ball going the way now of Brigades. A free kick going the way of Mitchell Boyle, though. Boyle. He's been instrumental this afternoon. He always is in each and every game that he plays for his beloved Railways. Outside the square, he sends it into the half-forward area now. Players setting themselves. Lewin Valley, a beautiful mark. It was a brave mark back into the flight of the ball, and Lewin Valley marks on a half-back flank.
That was a class mark. They're the sort of moments that define a match, and a beautiful mark there by Lewin Valley. He gets it up the ground. Good mark taken now by Ben O'Brien, who's been well looked after by Tom Rowe this afternoon. O'Brien feeds a handball out to Kim Schofield. Kim Schofield still running hard, kicks it forward. Nobody home for Brigades. Riley Zimmerman's there for Railways. So Railways have the ball with Zimmerman on half-back. It comes along the broadcast box side of the ground where the ball is taken by Clark, who's been good again this afternoon. He's a very good young player, is Clark. Corey Clark has the ball on his left boot, kicks it up towards half-forward. Looking up there for some movement. Castleton slaps it down. Goes the way of O'Brien. O'Brien gets tackled. So too does his teammate. Pack develops. And umpire Bennett will come in and throw the ball up. So 20 minutes gone. And in this quarter, we have seen Railways add 2 goals, 5. And we've seen Brigades add some 2 goals straight.
4 goals, 14 goals, 8 plays, 13-6 in favour of Brigades, the reigning premier. This corresponding game earlier in the season, they won by some 60-odd points, I think it was, Glenn. The ball coming out in the middle now, goes away Messina, puts it onto his boot into the half-forward area. He'll be good this afternoon, has young Messina going back the way of this player. Ditto for him and Boyle as he's dragged across the boundary line. Just in front of the Railways faithful, the ball be thrown in now. Time ticking away. One would think Railways need to get a score on the board very soon if they are to impact the final score. In it comes now. Players setting themselves. Player brought to ground early, and that's Latassia. And he'll get a free kick, one would think. And he's a pretty good goal sneak, this fella. So he's about to have a shot on goal. Ryan Latassia, coming over from Towns this season. He's on a reasonable angle, but we have seen him score some good goals so far this season. So Ryan Latassia, he's about 45 metres out when he gets onto this one, kicking toward the Augusta Street end. Breeze right behind him. Let's see what he can do. It's a nice kick. Beautiful. It's a straight kick. It's straight through the middle, and that's a much-needed goal for Railways, and the time is ticking away. But do they have enough time to win this game? It's only a 2-point ball game. Ryan
Latassia gets his second goal of the afternoon, and the margin now 2 points. And we've got 22 minutes gone in this term. So we've seen a pretty low-scoring quarter. We've seen 3 goals scored by Railways in this term. We've also seen 2 goals scored by Brigades. So Railways, if they win the ball out of the centre, get the ball forward, they can do something here. So the umpires will get the ball back into the centre. So time ticking by. So Railways, can they get the last score on the board, or can Brigades hold them out? That's the big question this afternoon. Round 7 of the Active West season, and we're doing it today for Refuel Australia. The ball gets thrown up, goes the way of Railways. In goes the Brigades player, puts good tackle on, ball running free now. In goes the player there, Cashard, spills out to the player there, and Jesse Adamini. He goes the way to Peter Kimberley, kicks it towards forward line, ball running free. Can Graham Sandy pick it up? A Railways player runs into another Railways player, then they run into a Brigades player. And Brigades were able to cover that, and Graham Sandy has the ball on half-back.
Graham Sandy on half-back flank. We've liked his game today. He goes laterally. He finds a player there and quick down the wing on the Francis Street side. Players setting themselves into the half-forward area now for Brigades. Time ticking away. 23.5 minutes gone on the clock in the final term. Brigades lead by 2 points as it goes inside the forward 50 now. The ball bounces free. Can Brigades get a kick to it? Kimberley has other ideas. He shows his opposite number, the piece of leather. He goes backward across play, puts it onto his boot and finds the chest of Saunders.
Ben Saunders in the back pocket, plays on quickly, goes up the ground, looking for some movement. Ball running free, but back there is Sandy, but the ball bounces away from him, goes the way of Kimberley. Kimberley is tackled, had the ball held to him, and umpire Bennett will come in and throw the ball up in the centre of the ground. 24 minutes gone in this last quarter, with thanks to GT Russell Chartered Accountants. A thrilling contest, 2 points the margin in favour of Brigades. Can they hang on, or can Railways run over the top? Railways trying to get the ball moving. Ball in the centre. There's about 8 players from each club around the ball, if not more. They're probably 8. So the umpire throws the ball up again.
14-8, 14-6, Glenn. It is a close game.
Picked up by Blake Messina. Kicks it up towards half forward. Looking there for Letessia. Finds that player. He draws a player. Looks for Adamini. Adamini takes them on. Runs through. Shoots on goal. Kicks towards Jack Cocking. Jack Cocking running with the flight of the ball. But the ball is out of bounds. And there'll be a boundary throw in. Deep in the right forward pocket. About 10 metres around from the right point post. And on the New Fab Equipment scoreboard, 92 for Brigades, 90 for Railways, 14-6 plays 14-8. What a contest here at the Rec.
GT Russell Chartered Accountants. Grant would be biting his nails at the moment on the bench for Railways as the ball comes in. Now goes the way of Saunders, puts it onto his boot inside the corridor. The player there is Cocking, goes back way of Kimberley now. He spins around, puts it onto his boot, and they've goaled, Railways. They've goaled.
They're in front by 4 points.
They're in front by 4 points, Glenn, and the player that hit the deck, was it Shaden Edwards that got that?
No, I think it was Jesse Adamini.
Jesse Adamini. Cometh the moment, cometh the man, and Jesse Adamini has scored what could be the winning goal for his side this afternoon.
Yeah, we would think so. Jesse Adamini now has finished with 4 goals. And by his standards, you'd think it's been a pretty quiet game. But whenever he's had to stand up, he has. And
Ace class, Glenn.
Jesse Adamini gets his 4th of the afternoon. And on the New Fab Equipment scoreboard, Railways have taken the lead. Railways 15 goals, 6, 96. They lead Brigades 14 goals, 8, 92. A 4-point margin in favour of the Blues. Ball back in the centre.
25 and a half minutes gone, Glenn.
So the ball back in the centre. The big fellas go at it. And it's Lucas up against Letessia. Lucas does well. Puts it on his left boot for Brigades. Kicks it towards full forward. Looking up there for some movement. But Brigades still have it. But Railways have it through Cashard. And Railways have won a thriller here at the recreation ground. 60 points they went down by in round 1. But they've won this one by 4 points in a very, very, very entertaining contest of football. Full time in our game of the day. The 2 top sides have clashed. And Railways remain on top of the premiership table. Railways are 15 goals, 6, 96. They have defeated Brigades 14, 8, 92. And you're tuned to Radio Mama. We're the home of GNFL football.
Oh.